that they'd be looking to run a 3 healer composition into a squad such a strong as skill ratio. I mean, Muskie, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that that's a really wise decision to make?
They're not afraid. They're definitely not afraid. They think that they've got the stronger mid. They might know that they've got the stronger mid. GSC is just taking, this is their strategy for the Twin Cup. They've ran 3 healers every single game for the last 2 weeks. They're not afraid. They think that they've figured out how to handle playing with 3 healers. The Warlock, obviously that's Flamer playing Shaman, that Destro lock. He's very, very good at just being a team player in mid and, counting down those bullets, lining things up with his team. And, you're talking about those Crusader run swaps. How about you throw another 1,300 damage on top of that from that Kratos bolt? And, a 2,700 health player, a Boomy, something like that, is going to get eliminated in, a blink of an eye.
That is so true, and that is what we've seen coming out of GSC Justice in all of the previous games. But the Warrior from GSC Justice charging straight into the front line, into the depths of skill ratio, now looking to throw out them Rens, and it looks like that Knickknack and Wuxiak are on the back foot. They're not actually going to push anywhere near into Team GSC Justice. They are played very, very wary here, but skill ratio have a great spread across the back line here. There's going to be no chance of win. But the snowball ratios are coming in now onto GSC Justice, and the whole team is clumped up so badly. This is going to be Wuxie's opportunity to cleave a lot of the players down, and the discipline breach goes down on GSC Justice. This could be team skill ratio's time to progress. Oh my god, that's such a crazy turn of events.
Pizza literally displacered in and ran another 10 feet to get that pop off, that stomp off to get the CC down onto the healers, but it's not over yet. You see these bolts coming out. GSC is holding on, and they do find a return kill onto the Brewmaster. Are you kidding me? GSC is not going down without a fight, and they're going to turn this one around just as Dark Chewy gets into mid. If they're able to block off tunnel here, Blackout, this could be an easy first cap. As long as they play their cards right, they've got a lot of pressure right here.
That is so huge. Trading a Priest in for a Brewmaster is a trade I would make any day of the week. And GSC are the aggressors now. Skill ratio falling back desperately back towards their graveyard. Dark Chewy's at the back of the group. He's refusing at this point to go back up the tunnel. They do not want to give up on the team fight just yet. As you can see, Wuxia is almost back into the team fight. Knickknack doing a great job holding down that front line. His health pool is so high. The kegs now coming out from Wuxia, snaring the whole back line and mid line of GSC Justice. The Tigers lost Rens coming out there onto by Knickknack. Great job there by Wuxia. They really want to flip this pressure over back onto GSC. The Destruction Wallet, though, desperately trying to run away, spamming those spheres out onto Wuxia, the frontliner from skill ratio, and I think that they have managed to stabilize at this point. This fight is so back and forward, Muskie. I just don't know who's going to take it.
And you can see skill ratio. They realized that they didn't need to back out there. They played their cards. They gambled it. Pizza dropping to about 2%. We see these Warriors, they put out that sack and the Lust and the Rens came out, and 15 seconds later, there it is. You see the kill once again onto the Brewmaster. Wushu Yang heads down, and skill ratio still trying to hang on here. If they do not commit people up tunnel and they do lose mid, if they keep playing this gamble, then Dark Chewy could be kept below. We know skill ratio does not run a wild charge, and here they go. They're going to break off now. They finally have played it. This is their next move, and Ezron actually sitting there casting his pet. He decides to prevent the 200s from going up tunnel instead of going up himself. I'd say a huge misplay by Ezron to res his pet right there instead of taking that opportunity to get up. And of course, the rest of skill ratio is going to get bullied here into the graveyard. Now, keep a close look at how GSC treats the healers. Oftentimes, you'll see these healers get wiped up so that they can be in the GY. A lot of teams will kind of let their healers die so that they can fall into that more defensive position and make it more of a turtle. GSC does not like targeting healers. They want to leave them down there so that they are in an awkward place. They can get CC'd while those double hunters go around and try and make that push onto the FC.
That huge kill coming out though to Sergeant Pizza. He relentlessly went charging into it to bite off, but GSC Justice, they punished him for overextending so far, and it looks like skill ratio are going to be forced to give up control at this point. They need to be able to get a regroup. 2 players down at the top, but Dark Chewy sitting at the top of the graveyard. I am anticipating GSC Justice.
2 hunters coming on him right now. They've got Zerker on 1. They're opening up on him. Blurs is up. Pizza is up. Slick should be up in a little bit. Repulsed even sooner. They're putting out the damage. They're sitting way back to avoid a warrior charge or anything like that. Just trying to avoid any damage from Pizza, but Star Searchers are coming out. It should be an okay situation for Dark Chewy. It's only at 6 stacks. Shaman, the Priest, pushing over to the other side, away from the rest of that team fight right there to give those hunters a bubble. One of the hunters actually does drop down here, so a bit of release and respite. Just a little bit of time, pressure off their chest, knowing that they've dealt with that first initial push.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But as you said, there is one hunter still at the top there. But I've just noticed the pet control. They are leaving the pet on the EFC when they're going in there. And that can cause a counter warrior charge up top to try and knock some damage there. But it looks like Skill Ratio have got their acts together. They're making the counter push now out of the graveyard. Priest, the warrior, taking a lot of damage here. But the pressure to be swapped over onto Knick-Knack now. Both the front lines of GSC are falling back at this point. They're forced to fall back into their team, allowing Skill Ratio to be the aggressor. The hard swap coming out to Grizzle, though, but nothing comes out of it. The pre-heals coming in there. Great job by the heals there. Sergeant Pizza going so deep into the team. Maybe he's going to go down. He doesn't. He gets picked straight up. That was a timed countdown there. The Destruction Warlock sitting around 3% HP, getting that shield and getting back up to full HP. GSC are falling out of the graveyard at this point, and maybe this is the time where Skill Ratio might be able to be the aggressors, maybe overpower GSC Justice, and potentially get a kill onto their EFC.
Yeah, the formation has definitely been dropped by GSC. They were holding on a little bit extra, a little bit greedy, trying to get that last second of that Chaos Bolt out, and they almost found that kill on a Pizza, but it was expertly timed into a bear form. Of course, Flamer is a player who's always going to cast those bolts out on focus, so you don't see it targeted no matter what add-ons you're running, no matter who you're looking at, who you've got on focus yourself. You just have to know your positioning and what's most likely for them to target. Speaking of which, here we go. Pizza going in hella deep, and actually, Nature disengaging the other way with that Wild Charge Boomy form, and GSC is going to be pushed back once again. They've actually used so many of their defensive cooldowns out here that they might not be able to survive, but a kill on a Pizza is going to turn it back around once again. Those bolts still coming out, and GSC is not giving up here.
You just need to notice both hunters are breaking off now towards the ramp, unaided by a healer, though. Ezeron has managed to get back on defense as well to help out Dark Chewy. He is in his flag room, so hopefully he's going to be there in time to be able to cut off.
Yeah, I don't think so. Dark Chewy's forced to jump here. Ezeron was a little bit too late, even though he got boots. And EFC, 2 hunters, they might actually just go on to Ezeron here and try and kill him to prevent him from helping Dark Chewy reset this defense a little bit.
I think that the hunters have done their job, though. They've knocked that Chewy off the top of the graveyard. Really good job there. But they're still going to hang around at the ramp. They know that their team is going to be able to hold down the front up against Skill Ratio, with them being one healer down at this point. They're coming on the inside of that fence there. Ezeron is looking to contest them, but trying to stay just out of max range so he doesn't take any necessary damage at this point. But then Hunter's doing damage from the top now onto Argent Grizzle. This is going to be able to push Skill Ratio even further back into their own graveyard. It is not looking good for them at this point in time.
Yeah, Skill Ratio is in a position where they're just completely on the back foot. There is no upside to this. Dark Chewy falls off of the GY. He actually dropped going around the fence trying to loss. This is do or die. If Skill Ratio cannot win midfield here, the first cap, or at least the first FC kill, is definitely going to be going on. You see, Ezeron jumps down. They need to play out of their minds right now, but Slick is down, Blurs is down, Pizza's the next person having the charge. Either they can get the pass up, or it's all over for Skill Ratio. The first cap of the game, of course, it's going to set the momentum. And look at GSC. They smell the blood in the water. One hunter's cutting back, trying to prevent Ezeron from getting the repick. They know they're in trouble. You see HB on that Boomy class. He's going to try and do what he can there. They drop the flag over to Blurs, trying to get Dark Chewy through in stealth. He gets pulled out. They were going to try and go for the repick here. They're just trying to clean up mid. They're just trying to survive. Blurs with the flag at the back of the GY. He should be okay for now. GSC inches from kicking up that first clap.
Inches, but it's not over just yet. Both hunters, EFC and ESC, are heading up. The stacks are high, 14 stacks. Even if he passes that over to the actual FC Dark Chewy, he's going to be taking so much increased damage. There is potential to kill from the above, because notice there is no one up there able to contest them. The warrior from Team Skill Ratio, he is in the graveyard, so potentially he could go. He needs to not drop down, but he does. He chooses to drop down.
They're pushing out. Skill Ratio trying to push out here, timing it with the 2 hunters. But if they get too overzealous here and the healers split up, then Dark Chewy could be the next target. Grizzle going so low from the return Chaos Bolts. Unfortunately, they seem to... Maybe they can get this kill onto the Warlock. Pizza goes down. They need to get out of mid-healed here. Dark Chewy has put them in such an awful position. But still, somehow, Skill Ratio is not letting this game get out of their hands.
A few shots coming in at Dark Chewy now from the above. Ezeron is trying to counter fire up there because the 2 hunters at top don't have any healers, and it looks like they drop down into the graveyard. They want to go over some racials. So much damage coming to Dark Chewy. The charge comes out there by the warrior of GSC. Dark Chewy's in so much trouble right now. All the healers down bottom got blanket size, and Dark Chewy goes down. And the return coming out by Priest, the warrior of GSC. And have a look at Boomy holding the flag. He is completely uncontested. They're going to be able to run this first flag in with 10.5 minutes to go. And in such a great position up in that graveyard now. GSC Justice are looking so dominant up in this first fight.
Yeah, and it doesn't even look like they're going to lose mid off of that. HB on that FC was miles away. Let's take a little bit of a look at that replay. We can see actually that Lucas, of course, on Priest, on that Warrior, he is so good at those returns, those clicks. He gets up there, gets the damage out, gets the execute out, and is able to find the return almost effortlessly. And here we go, taking a look at live again as HB caps that flag. GSC is finally starting to be pushed back, but literally nobody on their team has gone even below half health. There we go, the Warrior dipping down. They're still cutting back. They still got those Rens out into the back line on both those healers. They're both starting to end right now. Look for a turnaround kill. Keep an eye out onto Flamer on that Warlock. This is where he wants to find those 100 zeros that just are not expected. You get too overzealous, too bloodthirsty here, and you can definitely catch yourself in a terrible position. But the roots come out from Sergeant Pizza onto that Warlock. He tries the Goblin jump, but it's too little too late. The return kill almost on Agent Grizzle. Shaman the Priest has gone down as well. And the repick from ESC is going to be met by HB in just a second. And we'll see how the next stage of this game turns out.
It's pretty interesting to see, though. GSC Justice have just took their first team wipe of the game, but they are a cap ahead, noting that EFC, the Hunter, does have the flag, and he is also there with Boomy, who's now had that flag swapped over onto him. And they're going to be forced to stay on this side of the map for now, I do believe, to try and draw some people out from team skill ratio. Or maybe they're looking to make the decision of going across mid, because they know that their team has such a strong mid presence that its skill ratio send people out of mid to try and contest the Hunter holding the flag, that their team, that skill ratio may actually wipe up and allowing them to be able to get through to the team and resulting in a skill ratio team wipe. And looking at that,
look at skill ratio. They are not going to give HB the chance. Wushu Yang is hanging back with Repulse, trying to slow up all of GSC Justice. It's a complete 10-man split from skill ratio. They are not going to try and contain. They know they don't have mid. It's do or die for them. They got to get this cap either now or, you know, at least get back to their side where they can set up a defense. You see Agent Grizzle going around, Sergeant Pizza going around, trying to catch up. I don't think HB is going to die here. All he needs to do is sit back and heal. Dark Chewy's up there. Right now it's a 3v2 on the upper level of that. Dark Chewy's actually in base now, so it's just a 2v2. Sergeant Pizza pretty far away from Grizzle too. Boomy actually, that's HB displaces towards ramp to be caught by his team, and now it's turning into a hectic mid fight once again. Positioning has been compromised, trying to make that cut. Sergeant Pizza drops back down, trying to get topped back up, but look at Priest, look at Lucas, so deep, getting Rens, setting up the momentum for the entire fight here. That's so one-sided, and the fear is coming in on a Wushu Yang, who goes too deep. That's going to be a first kill onto the BM again, and a GSC is not about to lose a cap to skill ratio.
But just have a look how deep that Warrior was there. The GSC Justice, she was right, but the Crusader come out. Big Rens are going to be coming out now to show with the front liner down here as well. It's not going to be looking good for skill ratio. The healers have a lot of the work cut out for the charge coming out there onto Slick My Love, but he does manage to Spectral guys that, taking no damage there. Knick-Knack, he's desperately trying to throw out some counter Rens there because he does have Crusader up as well. They want to be able to swap some pressure back over, but it's not looking like it's going to happen because Knick-Knack does fall down.
Yeah, Knick-Knack getting a little bit lost there. It looks like he got stuck way behind enemy lines. And maybe he's trying to bite a little bit of Lucas's style on that Warrior, trying to get real deep, and it doesn't seem to be working out. Here comes the 10-man flank up the ramp. GSC taking a page out of that skill ratio playbook. We've seen it quite a few times this tournament, and it never quite goes the same way twice. Look at all of GSC pushing around the inside of that ramp. Everyone from SR has decided to drop. Nick reses, Grizzle's going to drop, Ezra's going to stay up there with Dark Chewy. Dark Chewy's staying up there for so long, trying to make sure they actually commit all the way, giving his team a better position, I guess. It's an interesting decision by him. I like that. He's staying up on the GY. This is an adaptation that, you can keep your healers up there and try and fight from a terrain advantage, anything like that. But look, GSC is just hanging out there up top. If they wanted to right now, they could drop the flag and just go Mongo with 10 people.
It is so true, but the stacks they're only at 6. I don't think it's really worth it with the caliber of the healers of both these teams. You don't really want to be taking risks like that, I don't believe. But as you can see, GSC Justice coming through skill ratios graveyard now, front line doing so much damage into Wuxi Yang, but he does roll out of there, catching that penance. And Knick-Knack now, he's holding the fort there, but slowly and steadily falling backwards. Priest, the Warrior there, charging straight in onto Maniac there, tossing out those Rends, Rend out onto Grizzle, Rend out onto Repulse there as well. The counter charge coming out there to try and root him up in place whilst he's overextended, but nothing comes out. But wait, maybe something is. He caught the shield at 1%, but he does get executed straight on through. That's one frontliner down for GSC Justice. Maybe skill ratio's going to have the momentum in this up-and-coming team fight now.
Yeah, and they're pushing them back into a very awkward position. Their only kind of break that they've caught here is that HB is above that GY still, so maybe they can go for something cheeky here. They are not going to be able to obviously line up that kill right away, but Grizzle, sensing this, is already on his way up ramp to go punish HB, put him in a pickle, either drop the flag or, you know, try and make some crazy play here. If anyone's going to do it, it's HB, but he's going to drop the flag. And Darkchew is going to head up the tunnel for the return. I'm not sure exactly what he wants to do here. HB has repicked the flag. He's still just trying to buy time for his team. They are pretty split, but they've still got some ground in midfield. Maniac heading up the tunnel with Darkchewy, and Grizzle is going to disengage over to get that return and maybe find Boomy out. He does find HB out of stealth. That is huge. HB going to be trying to pick a fight with Grizzle. He goes all in, throws the Wrath to disengage, or the Displacer in, but Sergeant Pizza is right there to give him a bandage if need be. And Sergeant Pizza putting a Star Surge out on HB. Ranged, actually, by HB here, so he might live. Pops the AGM. He needs to live in this situation. And meanwhile, all of GSC has been completely wiped in mid. This could be, if they kill HB right here, he walks back into range. Darkchewy needs to cap the flag. This could be a quick cap.
I don't think
I'm not
it's
sure
necessary.
why he's holding the flag still.
He's holding the flag because look at the time on the clock. There's 4 minutes left on the clock. One cap. It will be the last cap that wins. Bear that in mind. Desperately trying to hold on to it just in case they don't manage to get that counter cap. I think that's really smart play at this point. Most teams would choose to cap there, but I think that is the best call to make. Great job making sure Darkchew is going to be in position before that cap goes through. I couldn't agree with that decision anymore. Right there at this point in time, but the resto Shaman of GSC Justice is all the way over at the Alliance Leaf Cup now. He's so far away from his team. He manages to get a dot onto Darkchewy there, so maybe he can get cut by the Hunters of GSC. Who knows?
I really got to disagree with you, Blackout. I think that might have actually been a terrible play because Darkchewy has been caught out in mid. There's a healer and a hunter on D. There's nothing to give him a lot of assistance, and based on the way that we've seen these fights go from GSC, they really only had a short opportunity there to get the flag, get the repick, and try and make it back before GSC got back in mid. I think that this is going to be kind of an awkward situation. If Darkchewy doesn't get back in stealth and get across the field, he just went in stealth right now. If GSC is able to get the proper clamp on this fight, it could be a quick cap.
It could potentially be, but look
in tunnel. Ezron's going up on tunnel. It's going to be 2 hunters on D, and GSC is already putting the pressure onto SR, pushing them back into GY. Take a look at Darkchewy. Is he alone? Is Sergeant Pizza? Sergeant Pizza is in stealth. He's trying to get by. But look at ESC, the hunters, both reading where Pizza is right now. Without Pizza in mid, he's not going to be able to help them get out. He's not going to be able to help them live. There's 2 minutes and 30 seconds on the map right now. Is this going to be the quick cap from GSC?
This is very, very questionable. Both hunters, though, there at this point, but we have seen FCs before. We have seen HB get out of the base against Double Hunter and FC Druid at this point. He's in a lot of control. He does know what he's doing here. Pizza is looking to contest the Hunter going up the tunnel there, throwing out their Moonflies, relying on the elemental force damage to take him down in the long game. Pizza's probably going to look to head for some LOS here, maybe even catch a bandage on himself to top off. No, he's not. He's going to head up to the roof where Darkchewy is hanging out there. They've got to kind of hold their own for a couple of minutes here. The FC from GSC, though, is at the back of the group. But look at the mid-fight. Skill ratio, I've managed to push out the GOI without the help of Pizza. That is pretty crazy, actually. The flag is swapped over now to Sergeant Pizza up on that roof. Darkchewy sitting in stealth so that he can heal bot Pizza in the case where he gets under any siege.
Grizzle and Ezron have gotten by on the ramp. And that should be the game right now. Hunter and Boomy. Obviously, the Boomy and the FC are trying to catch back up and eliminate Ezron. That's one threat down. Grizzle's got dots on him, I do believe, so he's probably going to go down pretty soon. And GSC, take a look in the mid as well. They actually did just kill the BM too, so they've got about a minute right now. Shaman and BM trying to get up there to help as well. They need to get people in there. They get a clean wipe. Let's take a look at the healers. Slick My Love and Knickknacker on ramp right now. Boomy trying to push them down. Sergeant Pizza still on roof with Darkchewy. It's just them against the world. 100 pushing up on ramp right now. The FC is coming to back them up as well. 100 sitting in flag room. Take a look back at Knickknack and the rest of the team. They're in the top of ramp right now in the flag room. This is an insane fight. I wish I had a better POV of everything that's going on, but It's all in the GSC Justice base right now. Dark Chewy commits out the bottom level. He's trying to heal Sergeant Pizza. It's just him. Sokka puts a penance out. They're trying to make it work. Sergeant Pizza's going to drop into the team, into the BM of GSC Justice. They commit. The BM's there as well. The sack comes out. Repulse trying to top him out. Is it going to be enough? 30 seconds. He's still okay, but I don't think he has Displacer for another 20 seconds. Can the kegs land? They are not going to slow him enough. The lust comes out, and Pizza will live through the first game of GSC versus skill ratio.
And it looks like that is absolutely amazing play. I told you, these players, they are competent enough to work their way out of the base under most given scenarios. And take a look at that. That is the experience of all those years of playing this battleground. Kicking in right there. Sergeant Pizza managing to get out there with the support of Dark Chewy up on that restoration druid. Fantastic game there. Even though GSC Justice was domineering the whole mid-fight front, skill ratio coming out on top in that game, making it 1-0 in this best-of-7 finals.
Look at that scoreboard. Lucas, obviously on that warrior, hitting that 448k mark, almost pushing 4,500 or 45,000, or you know what I mean, 450,000. Boomy right below him, just about 300k. So obviously, just in terms of raw damage, complete domination in mid from GSC Justice. They've got the numbers, the killing blows, and taking a look at the healing pretty quickly, they've also got that with both of their priests doing a lot of damage and a lot of healing, pushing 320k, 289k. Just fantastic performance from GSC in mid, but there was one or two situations where GSC needed to hold mid for, just a little bit longer. Like, how did skill ratio get the push on GSC when HB came out of that tunnel and Sergeant Pizza wasn't in mid? How does that happen? In that situation, it's just sheer willpower that was able to force. Must have been Pizza saying, "Win mid now, win mid." Like it shouldn't happen, but it did. And skill ratio was able to win the game off of that play, as well as fantastic kiting, getting the people up around the map. Of course, something that a lot of people won't realize there is that, of course, when both hunters have committed into the base, that obviously means there's nobody to cut the warrior, the priest, the shaman, that all made it around up ramp and were able to give Sergeant Pizza that extra little bit of help to get him out of that situation. And like I said, take game number 1, baby, skill ratio. Whew.
Ooh,
let's get started.
Your predictions are kind of right. You think skill ratio is going to take it, and so far it looks like the skill ratio have the edge in the best of 7 series. GSC, I don't think they're going to be looking to rework anything at that point. They know they was very dominant in mid, but they may have made a couple of wrong decisions which caused the loss up in that game. I must say, but it was just great play by skill ratio at the end there. That is where skill ratio thrived, though, in those situations where it is Pizza in the base with that flag, working his way out of the base, trying to predict where the enemy is going to be, trying to lure them one way and juke them and going the other. That is where his...
No, Pizza knows what to do, always. He just knows what to do. He's in stealth before I can even click on him, and he's already making his way across the map. Even though Dark Tree did get caught out of stealth in mid, even though it was very close to being... a terrible heartbreaker of a loss for game 1, they were able to pull it out of the bag. And I mean, skill ratio, it seems like even though they were able to take this game, it was by no means perfect. I'm going to single out Dark Chewy here, falling down a couple of times awkwardly, fell out of the GY, almost completely screwed his team over there. And without his team, getting mid off of it or anything like that, just happened to get lucky that one of the priests were able up there and able to pick the flag. Obviously, there was another moment where he did actually a great job where he was on top. I don't know if it was a pizza call or what, but he didn't drop for so long out of that flank around on ramp when GSC went all the way around. He held his time up there, and that's the first time we've seen a team handle it like that. They kept their advantage a little bit, even though they were being flanked on, just based on the way that they had their positioning on 3 different tiers. And it gave GSC a moment of pause, and they hesitated. And it wasn't something that was cleanly executed. They weren't able to just rush in on that FC. And that, as a strategic play from a team perspective, was fantastic and a great adaptation. And maybe we'll see more of that as the game goes on.
I certainly hope that we do. I mean, that was just really overwhelming. This the caliber of both these teams. It's just astonishing to see. I think a lot of the people that even some of the people who partaken in this year's cup, they're going to look at these teams now and they're really going to learn a thing or two of how to work the map, how to work this meta.
Yeah.
But it's such a shame this meta's coming to an end, coming up into Legion. I mean, it's really getting into its element right now in this year's cup. I mean, it's so much different from last year. It's unbelievable.
I've said it a few times. I think the skill level is actually higher this year than it was last year. I wouldn't say that the teams are as equal this year as they were last year, but I definitely do think that overall, the skill level, the understanding of how to play in this meta, it's developed for over 2 years now. This is the culmination of the entire Warlords of Draenor 19 experience, and people have been playing the shit out of pre-mades all year long, practicing 5 nights a week, 6 nights a week, even more, like just games all the time, exploring every single different angle and different comps. There's been tons of exchanges. You still see the differential in comps. Skill Ratio was the one running a Destro Lock last year, and everybody was kind of laughing at them. But look at GSC this year, the ones running the Destro Lock. There's a whole bunch of dynamic that you can really only truly appreciate as being a player in the bracket, and these guys are playing it to the highest level, and I think it's going to keep going. Like I said earlier, Skill Ratio is just hitting their stride right now. Skill Ratio is going Skill Ratio level 2. They're ascending to Skill Ratio, like Super Saiyan Skill Ratio. This is where you see these teams play perfect Warsong Gulch on a level that is found nowhere else in the entire game.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, just the way that these teams are executing all of their strategies, all of their plays, all the movements around the map. It's all about the micro game. It's about saving those extra milliseconds when it's moving around the map as well to get to your objective location. That split second sooner, and that can be the difference between getting past an entire team or getting caught in the depths of an entire team in the case when holding a flag, when it's breaking off, trying to go and do some support. But these teams are executing it all oh so well. I mean, just the years of experience in these plays coming into here, it's going to make this finals one hell of a best of 7 series. I can tell you that. That is an absolute guarantee.
Blackout, I never did get your prediction, I don't think. I was too hyped on talking about what Skill Ratio wants to do this year, and my love for both Grizzle and Sokka and Blurs. What are you thinking, man? What's your prediction? Which way you lying?
Well, let's just go back to before this last game happened. I was thinking that GSC Justice was going to go with the trend. You know, I'm the kind of guy that will keep with the trend when it comes to this kind of thing, because I don't always want to be the optimist, because I don't really know enough about all of the players on each individual team. I just know that they are so fantastic when they're all grouped up together. But with that being said, after that first game, I still think that GSC Justice are going to be able to take the series. And the reason for that is just because there was just 1 or 2 minor mistakes that allowed Skill Ratio to get that second cap and get that final flag out of the base there. You have to bear that in mind.
That's true.
So if they tighten up a little bit, they're going to have so much mid-presence up against Skill Ratio. It's really going to shut down all of the opportunities that Skill Ratio has available to them, and there'll be nothing to capitalize on if no mistakes are made.
In another 5 years or so, Twin Cup, 2020 or whatever, we're gonna have like telestrators behind me on this side, where I'll be able to, just like how they have it in like the football games, you can draw like the arrows and stuff like that and show like where this went wrong. I would be breaking down exactly what happened with HB staying on top of the map there, and that entire transition between them going around ramp, HB staying up there, trying to deal with Grizzle, him getting pulled out. If HB hadn't been pulled out by Grizzle there, that could have been an easy quick cap for GSC, but they just wasted another, 30, 40, 50 seconds getting HB back across the map, having the hunter pick the flag, not being able to cut. It definitely was GSC's game to lose. I don't think that Skill Ratio was playing out of their mind. I think GSC did drop the ball a little bit there. They didn't win mid when they put themselves in situations where they were like, our mid is better, we're going to win here, and we're going to win because of that. They lost in those trades, and that is why Skill Ratio was able to take the game.
Yeah, I think so too. And like I said this a couple of times earlier, like when different games were playing, I mean, it's all about timing of kicked out wiping teams. It's not just about who wins mid fight. Sometimes you have to think, is it best that we give up mid now to again take it later at a certain point, when all of the stars align for them? Because you do notice, like, Skill Ratio, I've noticed a couple of times, it almost seems like they don't necessarily want mid because they don't need it.
Yeah.
Good teams only try and claim it when they need it to give the other team a false sense of security, to try and lure them into a position and potentially make a mistake. And when you got 2 great teams going up against each other like this, and both of them trying to play those mind games, you're not sure whether they've given up mid intentionally or whether they've just been overpowered. Because if they've been overpowered, it's going to have a different outcome than if mid was given up on purpose. Do you know what I mean? It's really, really it's so hard to really get your head around when we're talking about things like this. But yeah, I mean, there's just so much depth to this battleground that most people don't even realize. But this community has really, really brought it out, and they are portraying it excessively well on today's stream and in this Twin Cup Championship of 2016. But guys, Skill Ratio are having some issues with their internet right now, apparently. So there's going to be a 10-minute technical pause. They've already had their 5-minute tactical pause, but they're entitled to a 10-minute technical pause to try and get things sorted. And if they fail to do so, then we'll have to go accordingly with the rules. But we hope that it doesn't get to that stage, guys, and that they will be able to get some of their issues sorted out. But just sit tight, and we should be getting into these games as soon as those small issues are fixed. So Muskie, man, I mean, the hype is real. I mean, wow, that last game, it was just absolutely mind-blowing, and that's only the first.
I'd like to touch on what you just were talking about losing mid as being potentially an advantageous situation, because if you think about it, obviously, if a team is GY farming or they have you pushed, obviously, if you just look at the terrain advantage, you can see that obviously there's just obvious benefits to having your healers level up, not being able to get rented, not being able to get rented, not being able to get keg smash, things like that. Obviously, you have an advantage from being lower. You have access to the leaf hut, so you get the mana. But also, you can always push in, try and commit for a kill on the FC, or, you know, if somebody dies, you're back in the fight immediately. You don't have to run all the way back across. And it's so many people are obsessed with the idea of just winning mid and winning the game. It's just the difference between, you know, winning the game without winning mid and winning the game with winning mid. It's two different ideologies. It's two different mindsets. And a team that can do both is probably going to be the one that is able to pull out those surprise victories, whereas the team that's able to win mid, maybe that's one of their only strengths. Who knows? That could be, you know, the benefit of having the healer, the extra healer, sorry, the fourth healer, so you have the room to make those kind of plays. But I would say it's easier to win the game by controlling mid, but I would still say it's about a 50-50 which way the game's going to go. So much of it does break down to transition play, and so much of it does break down to just overall team leadership and team communication.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It really, really does. I mean, whether you're running 3 heals, whether you're running 4 heals, it does all just come down to the basics of communication, like you say. And, you know, these teams, especially like GSC, I know some of the levels that they have actually gone to really maximize their potential communication. I mean, some of the stuff that they do, you know, is a little bit too much for me to explain right now. But the setup that they have going on is absolutely phenomenal. I've seen it for myself. It's really impressive kind of stuff. But it shows the importance because they understand it, so they've done the most that they can to maximize it, to make everything as efficient and as fluid as possible.
Yeah, and you know, with that being said, GSC is an incredible team. Objectively, their hunters, I'd say, as a duo, are better than Grizzle and Ezron. Individually, you know, it's pretty up in the air. They're both very, very high skill cap players. But Hunter's obviously the most objective part of the team besides the SC. They're kind of a 3-man unit. Sometimes the Boomy comes in, he's the 4th. I would say, as a unit, GSC has the better objective team. It's just the fact that they're winning mid, and it's putting them in an awkward situation where they aren't able to completely capitalize on it. And Skill Ratio was just able to play better in that situation. So GSC, if they're able to play things a little bit cleaner, if they're able to get their pushes in a little bit quicker, then it could easily be a 2-0 game for GSC. But Skill Ratio, of course, is going to be running off a high based off the victory last time around, and just how it ended was pretty fantastic as well. So look for them to maybe have an edge in this mid fight.
Yeah, maybe so. Both the charges are coming out from the Warriors here, but the frontliner from GSC, Justice, the Warriors, taking a bit of damage. Knick-Knack also getting some retaliation damage coming out from the whole team here. The Incinerator's being thrown out there by the Destruction Wall. The Chaos Ball is incoming. Are you ready? And there it goes. It goes in. The huge swap coming out there now onto the Resto Shaman Maniac, but he does manage to recover from that. Great job there by him. Wuxiang take a lot of damage as well. A full fear coming out to Knick-Knack, the Warrior, but he does break there, or he caught on his spell. Great job. And it looks like GSC Justice, they're really doing a great job of splitting up skill ratio at this point. As you can see, Grizzle is pushing him pretty far here. Wuxiang, he's taking some significant amount of damage as well. The wild charge coming out there from the Boomkey Druid of GSC Justice on to Wuxiang as well, just to try and pin him back there a little bit. There's a huge swap though coming out of the Destruction Wall. That might be the kill that's needed from skill ratio to get the momentum and the ball rolling in this team fight.
I'll say there's Rens all the way into the skill ratio backline, but it doesn't matter when your Warlock is getting one shot beautiful play by skill ratio. That's always been their strength. They've always been the team to get those 100 to zeros, even since last year. It's good to see that it hasn't changed, obviously, and they're going to push GSC back into their graveyard. A Bear Root comes out onto Wushu Yang. It's lusted, and the Warlock is joining back. I think he gets an Ember when he reses, so he should have a Chaos Bolt right away here. Let's see who he throws it onto, because they're going to be trying to line up some damage right now. There it goes. Ooh, ESC is actually going down there. Of course, the Hunter. That's a big deal as well.
That is a bit of a big deal. They just waited on the right target for that Chaos Bolt. He did get denied before, but here it comes now. The Chaos Bolt comes out, and it does get cancelled at the end of the cast there. I'm just waiting for that huge 100 to 0 swap to go off by GSC Justice, but the Warrior in the front line taking a lot of damage there, getting picked right back up. Skill ratio, maintaining aggression. A huge swap on the Ren coming out on Sergeant Peace, and he so much mid potential has been lost there now with that Boom Kindred being down, and GSC Justice reigning supreme, charging, snowballing up this effect here. All those Rens coming out from the front line there, but the Warrior goes down on GSC Justice. The counter kill, really, really well played by skill ratio, and GSC Justice are backing right and up now. They're a front liner down. This could be really bad. They're in such a bad spot though after pushing in so far, and the front liners from team skill ratio are pushing deep into the team here. They're just relentlessly trying to get further and further forward. There's a Resto Shaman named BM that's slightly out of place here. Maybe he's going to be the next target of choice, and right there you have HB on Boomy at the back of the group holding that flag, and he's in a really, really tough spot right now. If skill ratio win this fight.
Yeah, and you know, it might even have been better for him to stay on the other side of the map. However, it was coming to 6 stacks, and really, that was such a crucial push from GSC there, because it gave just enough room for HB to slip by. Dark Chewy looked like he was going to try and break there. He had 2 hunters cutting him completely, keeping him honest, keeping him in that mid fight. And now it's turned back into a situation where skill ratio, you know, I almost wanted to say they made a mistake by pushing into this GY so hard, because they consistently have not been the ones dominating this mid. Sure, they get a little bit this time, but if you give GSC the opportunity to sit there for a second, catch their breath, line up their stuff, they're going to be the ones that are going to be taking this mid fight over again. And you can see that's exactly what's starting to happen. Once again, Maniac has gone down, and I expect to see GSC really start to run away with this midfield in just a second.
I think so too. The charge is coming out onto Ezreal, though. The deep Rens are being spread, but a huge swap coming out onto the Hunter and GSC. Leveling out the playing field there. So it's a 9 versus 9 in this fight right here. I think that skill ratio are still going to be having to back off at this point, though, just being so close to GSC's GY at this point, because you've got the Boomy at the back there holding that flag, throwing out those heals onto the back line.
Maniac's on his way back, and GSC hasn't actually been able to push out here. That one hunter is really, I guess, not... I don't know what's going on with GSC this game. They've been so much better in mid. I don't know what's going on. They just seem to be getting kills on ESC. It's not like they're killing Flamer a bunch or anything like that. I might have spoke too soon as they're pushing in and just absolutely dunk them. But holy crap, skill ratio. Where did this mid presence come from?
I am not sure, but whatever it's done, whatever talk went on in between the game, it has done a lot. It really has worked for them. They're being so dominant in this fight right now, although the counter push is coming out again by GSC. But again, this could be a tactical thing like I'm talking about. Skill ratio had no reason to pull back at that point. I think they're just trying to ride the stacks out and get a snowball roll in to try and connect onto the Hunter who's holding the flag up in the GY. No, sorry, I just got that wrong. They managed to pass the flag up. I didn't quite catch that. So they're going to look now to fall back at this point and try and run around and knock him out of the GY. But both front liners are dead from Team GSC right now. So they're in a bit of a stale position as to what to do here. But skill ratio, they know the call. It has been made. They're heading around that ramp now. They know they have to push that ESC out of the GY, or it is almost to be a pointless endeavor.
Yep, we've got about maybe 15 seconds on those frontliners to come back up. Maybe actually a little bit less right now. It is an opportune time for skill ratio to go on this flank, simply because maybe they'll be able to catch on those frontliners a little bit earlier. Coming up at 9 stacks, almost 10 stacks. Here comes skill ratio. They're para jumping in, Gurubashi skydiving club style. And here we go. We're gonna see the engage in midfield. The flag is still being held by HB. He might drop it here. Dark Chewy, I mean, he's ready for a cap.
He is ready for a cap. That is indeed, but do notice that one of the hunters is breaking off to look to contest Dark Chewy, and Maniac has noticed this and they fall back into range of Dark Chewy to mitigate any of that incoming damage. He is going to be in a great position to catch Dark Chewy's health if he does get cut around the side.
And a great understanding by that hunter too to fall back as well and realize that he's not going to be able to find that kill. He did pull Maniac out a little bit, but he's going to come back and give that assistance over to HB once again.
That is true, and it is a very, very desperate mid-clash here, because if GSC lose this fight, there is going to be nowhere to go for the FC called Boomy of GSC Justice, so it's so crucial that the kills are scored here. So let's have a look at what's going on here on this destruction wall. We need for some of the huge Chaos Bolt kills to come out. The triple face man being put out onto the front line here, T-Scale ratio. And it looks like GSC Justice are going to be the aggressors here. The wild charge route coming out onto the warrior there. But a huge SWAT again coming out onto the same Hunter on GSC Justice. I don't know how that keeps happening, but both front lines are down on skill ratio. Here is the counter push. Dark Chewy, he's going to be in a lot of trouble if they look to go for the cut right here. It may only be one Hunter going round, but it looks like slippery skill ratio have managed to slip around the whole team of GSC, and Sergeant Peter, Argent Grizzle being able to head up that tunnel to give some support to their SC on the top of the graveyard. Fantastic call, fantastic execution there. I mean, if there was more on the ball with that, they may be able to cut both Sergeant Pizza and Argent Grizzle there at that point, but being a Hunter down, that would have made it very, very difficult to do so. But great play and great insight there by both of those players.
Yeah, and we talked about how defensive positions in that GY or, offensive positions at the other team's GY, when you get in midfield like that, it's just so volatile. And the only factor that really kept skill ratio from getting snowballed on there even harder was the fact that Dark Tree was so far away from the action and was able to be in a position where, he could keep that defensive position and not put himself in a spot to be risked down, hunted and just steamrolled over. And we saw that's exactly what GSC tried to do, but they weren't able to get onto a squishy enough target. They got counter slowed and back once again into a little bit of a stalemate. I wouldn't be surprised if GSC goes for yet another flank around to try and push Dark Chewy down.
It wouldn't surprise me either, but it's just because Sergeant Pizza is in stealth, they don't want to commit to this. I do believe they want to be able to bring him out before they can guarantee that Pizza isn't going to just pop up behind their own FC. But as you can see, the Resto Shaman coming around the rampway. This could be pretty interesting to see what's going to go on here.
Yeah, this could be really bad. They've only got 3 healers, so there's only 2 healers in mid. Both are Priest, and they've also got a Warlock who's not the best at cutting back in a situation. So they could be stranded with a squad of 3 beside or behind and a squad of 6 or 7 in midfield here. And if skill ratio decides to commit with everyone, then they could have maybe YOLO'd it. I feel like that was a missed opportunity from skill ratio. Having 2 healers in mid against 4 is just insane. Even if your FC is there, you've got to have that pusher on the push.
But you need to look now. They're going to be opening up there. Sergeant Pizza coming out. Still, Argent Grizzle taking a lot of damage. Only having Maniac to heal the defense here for skill ratio. You got BM, EFC, and EFC. The Resto Shaman double hunter at the top there, relentlessly throwing out damage there into Sergeant Pizza. They're going to, on the scope, probably swap over to Dark Chewy. So much damage coming out. The Tyranny Trigger and the AGM coming out there as well. Really good call on that. I mean, that could have been a potential go down there. But the fight is still going on, relentlessly throwing out those range shots there. But both hunters are kind of struggling for health here. They're going to have to be forced to back off a little bit because there's damage coming out from the people in the graveyard down at the bottom. Sergeant Peace is getting stuck in there, doing so much damage there to
Nick
that
is up there as well in the warrior. So Nick is actually going to be able to get Rens on to the shaman and maybe the rest of them, but also Nature on that Boomy Hunter, he's gotten up there as well. I think he's got points. I think he's going to try and line it up with that scope rock again. The cooldown should be down. The sack comes out onto Knickknack once again. This is such an awkward fight. The healers from GSC are pushing up as best they can to try and help out. Same thing with those of skill ratio. And they're actually able to hold this off. Nobody's touching Dark Chewy. They're putting so much damage into Hunter right now. Ren's about to end. He's going to go down if there's a kick onto the Shaman. There's none, but he's still going to go down. And now we had to take a look at GSC and see how they're going to handle this situation because the counter push is almost undoubtedly going to start being, forced back onto them.
It's very true, but have a look that you can see HB on the FC called Boomy. He's already back in his own base. He's anticipated this play. He was ready for the cap, but he knows he's going to be in a very safe spot because Pete's position is known on the map, knowing he's sitting there on defense, still in combat. He has no threat to worry about at all. But there's still a fight going on at the top of that graveyard there. Both hunters and the rest of Shaman still up top. Knickknack and Sergeant Pete's are choosing to drop down there at this point. I'm not too sure about that decision.
Warrior's up. The Warrior's up. He got a charge onto a pet that got dragged over there. So a huge misplay from, I think that was Grizzle, letting that Warrior get the charge up. And now we've got a Warrior about to connect onto Dark Chewy. He gets the charge, almost drops it. And now Dark Chewy is just getting laid into by a Warrior at 15 stacks. And oh my goodness, one of the priests from GSC has gone down. He's running back for a body res. Can skill ratio hold on here? Look at all of the healers pushing up. They're trying to keep everybody alive. They're literally all on top of each other here.
But the Crusader Rens are going to come out soon. That Warrior getting up into that graveyard was so good, but they are falling back at this point. They're choosing not to go at the end of that. They're probably going to wait for the Hunter's scope procs to come back up. That was it there. The Ren ticking out there, that tree, but it did get picked right back up. This is such a split game right now. This is actually crazy.
Yeah, I thought the priest was back, but he's actually just rezzed. His body did get taken, so it's going to be a while for them still. And that little squadron is still hanging up there. The other priest goes down, so they're actually only one heal, actually zero healing down in the bottom of GY right now. There's zero healing because the other shaman's all the way around. So now you've got 4 people from GSC stuck up there, and all of skill ratio pushing out. Wushu Yang trying to slow everybody down. He hasn't actually caught the Warlock just yet. He gets the roll. He gets the slow onto the Warlock. The Warlock should be going down. And HB back up on the GY, and the tables have turned once again, just like that. Skill ratio now once again on the offensive.
Yeah, they are on the offensive, but I think that what's going to happen is even if they get a team wide, they're going to be forced to run around to knock Boomy off the top of the graveyard holding that flag, and at that point when they drop down, they're going to be able to get met by both those Hunters, Shaman, and that Warrior to go in another 10v10 head-on fight. I think that's going to be the way that this pans out. Maybe they're coming out a little early here. Take a look at the Resto Shaman BM. He's pushing up across. If I was skill ratio, I'd probably look to turn around and maybe score some kills there, and I think that's what they are choosing to do. The Zerka buff there on Argent Grizzle with the Kong shot coming out there onto him. That's it, the Warrior coming out, the charge comes onto him. They pushed up too soon. He might be in a hell of a lot of trouble here, in so deep. Both Hunters trying to get stuck in, throwing out those blanket stances there as well. But Team GSC Justice, they managed to get a regroup, and they push back in, maintaining formation. Really great job by them there. It looks like they've recovered.
He's getting hit on by Ezreal right now. Ezreal got the flank. He did drop the flag to reduce the initial damage. And Shaman, where the priest has come back and will catch HP. Fantastic job by HP reducing the damage until Ezreal was close enough. Gave himself about 5-10 seconds, but still the damage coming out on HP. 15 sacks is so easy to kill in FC. Speaking of which, Dark Tui is going to go down here. He's at 10% health, 20% health. He's getting top backed up. Look at all the damage coming in. He gets the blink out. Ancient Crystal's right there. Can he get a bandage or anything? No, it's picked up by Wushu Yang. Wushu Yang goes down and is going to be returned by Lucas on that Warrior.
And it looks like that the flag may be picked up by Ezeron, though. Ezeron is in the base, catching that full bandage there. There's no one available to cut him at this point. Is he going to choose to go for it? Is he going to go all in? I do not know. But I want to take a quick look.
Can 1v2 here. It's just the priest and an FC here. If he's feeling himself, he could go for it, but he's gonna run away. He's gonna play it safe. I'm sure that's the right play. I'm just a little bit bloodthirsty.
You are very bloodthirsty there. He definitely was not gonna. He was definitely not going to go and make that call. I think that was the right choice to make. But I just want to take a quick look at that replay right there. As you can see, all of the team of GSC just collapsing straight on top of that Chewy right there, sitting around 10% HP for a while, and he does eventually go down, but the repick does come out by Wuxu Yang, it instantly goes down, and GSC managed to catch that return, and that's making this 1-0 to Team GSC with 5 minutes left to go.
5 minutes is a long time in Warsaw and College Blackout. Dark Chewy's making his way across the flag, or across the field to pick the flag from Ezeron. It's a 2-man squad on the side of GSC's base. Skill ratio, in the meanwhile, getting held in that GUI. They're trying to make a push out right now. They're trying to do what they can, but look at the front line of GSC. That is where most of their pressure comes from. Lucas consistently putting up the most damage out of any warrior in the bracket. Saxon, the most mongoloid, the most just threatening and insane damage pressure. BM, obviously, these guys are trying to keep their team ahead in this game, bring it to a 1-1. And, you know, this next mid-fight right here is going to be a huge decider. Look at Neknak going in, getting a rend onto the Boomy. The Fears come out onto him. The Bear Stun comes out onto him as well. Rend ending, he's going to get on out of there. Repulseless push up far away, was looking to get surges shears off of that. Wushu Yang going deep as well. They're trying to find something. The Hunter, once again, the target isn't going to go down. And actually, HP's only just getting the flag pick now. Looks like you need to get a little bit of help from his Hunter. So if skill ratio is able to get enough traction here, this could be a really awkward situation for GSC. They are holding on, though. Nobody's gone down. They've moved themselves over towards the tunnel, giving HP that ramp control so he can get out of this sticky situation. But holy crap, skill ratio is not going down without a fight. This game is so close.
This game is very close indeed, but Boomy holding that flag, he's not got a lot of time to be able to get around. Skill ratio relentlessly pushing through GSC right now, and it looks like that he's managed to get to the back of his squad, but he's no way safe. Not just yet, because Ezeron is looking to make that cut there, stopping him from getting at that tunnel. Just cutting that tunnel really shuts down his opportunities.
Goodness. They're actually strangling the entire team of GSC. Look how they're corralling them into the corner, cutting off any option. HB might have to go back up ramp if his team is not able to get some control in this situation. HB might just YOLO for it, but look at skill ratio's positioning here. They've absolutely thrown them into the corner. If they can get around and cut them and not let them kite back to their GY, they can just completely turn it into a meat grinder and start AoE and get those thunderclaps, get anything out. But here comes the push out onto Wushu Yang. They get the kill. GSC is not going anywhere. This game is not over.
This game is far from over, and the counter push is real. GSC Justice riding deep there. The huge blanket signs coming out by the Hunter EFC. The hard swap coming out onto Repulse there. The Star Surge is coming out onto the Hunter EFC. Their Sergeant Pizza relentlessly throwing those out there, trying to get some counter pressure. Receiver Blurs getting swapped over to, and he does go down, but BM almost went down there as well. So skill ratio are so far behind. Now Dark Chewy is stuck in the team fight here. 3 stacks. He does not have a limited movement speed at this moment in time, so he may be able to break away if deemed necessary. Argent Grizzle, take a look at him behind the actual hut at the back there, having a 1v1 off against one of the Hunters, but GSC are so relentlessly pushing here. Huge swap coming out onto Sergeant Pizza, and he does go down. It looks like the train is leaving the depot. GSC Justice pushing straight on through, steamrolling through station ratio right here, right now, and maybe this is going to result in a kill.
GSC had their back up against the wall, and they pushed back. Look for them to go for a gauntlet here. You can see them all splitting out. They've got their full team with nobody slowing them. They've got 2 minutes. Holy crap. What a game, Blackout. Game number 2. Looks like it's going to be going over to GSC. But the thing is, how many times have we seen a gauntlet get broken with 10 seconds, 15 seconds left, and a game flipped over on its head? So they might actually go above GY here. I'm not exactly sure if they decide maybe to meet mid. Once again, it's low stacks, only 5 stacks, 2 minutes on the clock, and GSC has decided to send their FC Fear the Buns up to the top of GY, and it looks like they're just going to meet that mid fight once again. This is what I'm talking about. GSC puts themselves in a situation where they know they're the stronger mid, but it hasn't always worked out. They're going to go back for that reclash. They're not going to decide for the gauntlet. They're opting to fight in mid. EFC and EFC cutting off Agent Grizzle, preventing any turnaround. He almost goes down here. Let's see how this mid fight unwinds. Blackout, take it from here.
With the charge there coming out to Knick-Knack. The Knick-Knack is so deep in. The Chaos Ball does come out, but skill ratio doing a great job of keeping the front line up there. He's so crucial at this point. Ezreon and Argent Grizzle, it looks like they've got by. They may be able to get past. EFC desperately trying to slow down them. Ezreon is maybe going to go down, but the bandage might come out from Argent Grizzle, but it doesn't. Argent Grizzle, again, maybe this could be a 1v1 scenario where he might be able to...
there too. They're all going around. They're all going around, Blackout. They're sending the whole team around. They're shoving him down. HP's in front of the tunnel. He's dropped down. Grizzle's above there. Ezreon, I think, is running back, trying to get the body. No, he's in GY. Repulse has gone down. In skill ratio, they're actually getting wiped here. Pizza, the next target. Pizza goes down. They went for the play, and instead they got played. Holy crap.
Get played. You are so right there. Boom me up on that flag. Just choosing. He had a choice going up the tunnel or crossing back across mid. It was a great choice to go through his team there rather than dragging his team into a place where they could get bottlenecks in. Ezreon desperately trying to throw out some shots here at the end. Maybe he's going to be able to catch him. It doesn't look like it. He's 28 seconds left on the clock. Dark Chewy is in so much trouble here. One of the Hunters is going so hard at him. He's got no support, but yes, he does. Repulse just catches the rest. He's desperately throwing out them healing surges. Then he just manages to survive by 10% HP. Great offense there by GSC Justice as well. Although they're playing the defensive, they do send one man on the offensive. They are taking no risks, and with 8 seconds left on the game, they are going to take this game, making it one apiece in this crazy finals.
Holy crap, Blackout. Tell me this Swing Cup's not hype. Tell me this Swing Cup's not hype. 10-2 for Lucas. 369,000 damage done. Hunter the Boomy, once again, that's a nature, of course, putting up 260. Killing blows, 10-2 for Lucas, and, you know, all the way down the map, he is once again in the favor of GSC. And even though it looked like skill ratio kind of had the advantage, Blur is pumping out 340k healing done. It's just, I can't believe it. That game was so close to going skill ratio's way. Once again, they were in control for so long. They had midfield, they had the defensive positioning on top of the GY, they had everything. Blackout, that was by far the best game of the Twin Cup so far.
That's all I'm going to say on that map. I mean, this is mind-blowing kind of plays here. I mean, it just makes me feel bad, like, looking at some of these other games that we've seen up in the past. I mean, this is where it's at. These caliber of teams is what everyone is here to see. And I'm so glad that these teams make it through to the finals to deliver this to everyone out there who's been so excited to see these games coming off between these two awesome teams and also rivals. Wow, I'm so happy to be here to actually experience this firsthand and being able to cast these games, because these are the games as a caster. These are the dream games. Correct me if I'm wrong, Muskie. This is what the casting dream is all about, and I'm so hyped to be here right now.
This is the dream as a caster, as a player, and as a fan, man. This is the pinnacle of battlegrounds in World of Warcraft, in my opinion. The pinnacle of twinking. The pinnacle of, you know, a bracket that's been around since 2007. This is all been leading up to these games. It's all about this. Pizza has been playing since vanilla. Fear the Buns has been playing since vanilla. Saxon, these guys have been around forever. The names on both of these teams are archaic. This is the twinking community from the ground up. And, you know, we've got Europeans over here playing on GSC. We've got North Americans playing on GSC. We've got Australians playing on skill ratio. We've got the same guys that have been playing together for years and years, putting in so much effort to bring their game this high. I mean, this is esports, Blackout. These guys have put in all that they can. They've given it, you know, all that they can. They've treated it at the highest level of, you know, the importance in them and what they're trying to achieve. And this is the result. And it's so awesome to see.
It is so awesome to see, and I mean, I'm just so proud. I'm so proud of these teams putting in all this effort to getting to where they are today in this very long meta that we've had. And I mean, we have seen so many changes coming up through the whole of Warlords of Draenor, but this is the peak of gameplay, and I'm thrilled. I'm so thrilled about it. But we're just going to now have to wait for a couple teams to get ready, because obviously after a game like that, guys, both teams are going to want to talk things out. They need some time to cool off, let their adrenaline drop down a little bit.
I need some time to cool off.
Yeah, me. Well, me too. But think about being in the games. Imagine the pressure that both teams are under.
Adrenaline,
so much on the line here. There's pretty much $3,000 on the line here as well. Not just the title being the Twin Cup 2016 champions. There is money on the line, guys. These guys need to cool off. They need to get their heads together, and they really need to re-collaborate and get some discussion going on in case they need to clear any minor things up, because from what we're seeing, everything is going so great for both teams. I don't think there's going to be much that either team needs to clear up at this stage.
Yeah, it's just, you know, Pizza said it in his interview, like when it gets down to the wire, when it gets down to the line, he takes over. And I think that is really the thing that separates GSC from skill ratio. It's Pizza's just insane leadership, man. It's like if you've got that kind of thing backing your team, it doesn't matter what game it is, doesn't matter if it's, you know, League of Legends or Dota or anything like that. The shot calling is so important when you're trying to bring 5 or 10 people together towards the same direction. And GSC is not led the same way. They might have individual kind of pressures and individual parts of the chain breakdown. And that's the difference, right? The pressure is really spread out against all of GSC, and maybe if there's one weak link in the chain, it can drop. And whereas it's pretty much all on Pizza. Pizza has taken over. It's Pizza's game now. And is the chain of GSC stronger than the back of Pizza?
I don't know, because you just have to think about it, right? Some teams, you know, they get used to one way in playing or another. And I mean, skill ratio, they are led by that dictatorship, as we refer it to. You know, he's very dominant, prominent within his team, and without him, we're not sure how they would actually go without him, because they've never really had to experience playing, you know, as a full team roster in a competitive environment without him. So, you know, they're very used to that dictatorship kind of role. But a team like GSC, you know, they all come together, they all have their inputs, and some players prefer to play on a different basis like that. They like to be able to use their initiative, but spend a lot of time practicing together, so that all of the initiatives, all the minds are thinking the same, so all the initiatives are making the correct decisions. You know, it's almost like 10 bodies, one mind. But some people like to train and tune themselves into the rest of the team, whereas some people like to be led by a dictator. And that being led by a dictator tends to be more common in any area of the game. When it comes to battlegrounds, you know, you've got the top-rated battleground teams up at endgame or whatever. It tends to be dictated. But, however, you know, in this level, at the 10 to 19 bracket skill ratio, their leader, Sergeant Pizza, he is known for being the most prominent one amongst the bracket, and he's very good and very experienced in doing so. So they may have two different approaches, but I don't think that one is better than the other. It's all about what works for each individual team. And as a reflection, you can see it's 1-1 between these teams in the grand finals. So it shows that both team leadership styles work for different types of teams.
Absolutely. The problem with having that one leadership is that if your team feels too restrained, if your players are not comfortable, then they will restrain themselves from going for that extra little play. You know what I mean? For something like we saw EFC do at the end there, where he went and countered Chewy and had Ezron not Ezron, had Repulse happen to have just been rezzing there, that could have been a cross kill. And very well, it could have been an even easier game for GSC to take. So here we go. We're jumping into game 2. You know, each side does have their own strategic values. Of course, they've got themselves here to this point, and they've shown how goddamn well they're playing together, both teams. Once again, we will see. Is skill ratio going to be able to do the same thing in mid they did last time?
I don't know, but for their sake, I sure hope so. If they want to continue to be the reigning champions, they need to keep that kind of momentum, and the fight has just begun. Warriors, Brewmasters at the front line. Wow, huge damage coming out to Wuxin Yang there. The Chaos Ball and the Star Surge lined up with that Crusader Mortal Strike. So much damage right there, and he has gone down. This is put skill ratio on the huge back foot. The Warrior Priest charging in so far, completely unsnared. Crusader is going crazy mode right now. The Rens are thrown out into the majority of the team of skill ratio. I don't think they're going to be able to hold this front line for very much longer. Dark Chewy on the pick of the flag, but so is HB up on that FC there as well. They do have tunnel control. Maybe this could potentially be a fast cap very, very early on into the game. Wow, crazy kill there so early on.
Yeah, speaking of that fast cap, Ezron and Grizzle are stuck in mid. We've seen them. These guys like to commit for a long time. Speaking of Grizzle, here he goes. He sacks himself, goes in for a War Storm, has to cancel it. He gets interrupted immediately by that Warrior, of course, Lucas. And here we go. ESC and Boomy. Boomy displacing.
Take a look, Dark Chewy there.
Dark Chewy is going for the long bomb. He gets rooted after the displacer. That's a GCD. Dark Chewy, is he gonna live? He goes down to 1%. He's gonna be able to take him through. Oh my goodness, we saw Lenny Druid do the same thing how many times this tournament? And he's gonna live. Holy crap.
Lenny Druid. Lenny Druid, is that you on that FC? Oh my god, that was crazy. There's only Lenny Druid that we ever see getting away with that kind of things, and in such a crucial game like this, pulling something off like that is so huge. And take a look at this now. Because of that play, skill ratio are the domineers. They are pushing deep into the depths of GSC. The Warrior charging in deep there. Knick-Knack throwing out those Rens. So much damage coming out. Wuxin Yang getting wild charged on 2. He does go down. Wow. Through the sack. You are right there. So there's only one front liner now left available for skill ratio, and the tables have turned. They are on the retreat. Dark Chewy is looking to head up that tunnel there. It looks like he's going to give up that fight and knows that he's probably going to lose the fight. He's going to play for the top of the graveyard play. Wow. I mean, this game is so fast. It goes one way to another, left to right, across the net. It's so crazy trying to keep up with the pace of this game.
Immediately after Dark Chewy decided to commit like that, and of course, the entire positioning of GSC had been kind of corrupted, I want to say. They gave up a lot of their positioning to try and turn her on to Dark Chewy and kill him. Obviously, they all dove over to the side, and skill ratio took advantage of that. They went for it, and they pushed into GSC. However, GSC, being a team with the experience they had, they were able to regroup quickly. They were able to bring themselves back in and line up a desperately needed kill. And by doing that, even though they got the kill on the frontliner, they gave enough breathing room for Dark Chewy to get up deep and get into his own base. But he's being pushed off right now. Double Hunter has knocked him off back down simultaneously as Slick My Love, Ao Atsaka has gone down. And now Dark Chewy is once again in the danger zone.
He is in the danger zone. You are right. Both Hunters have decided to collapse back into the team fight here from the top. Sergeant Pizza taking so much damage. Maybe he's going to go down. Even he does. Wow, really good swap there by both those Hunters.
He's going to get a body. He's going to get a body. It's right there. He gets the body. Pizza's going to be able to get the flag from Dark Chewy here if they play it right. They've got nobody in there to counter pick. The pass is going over, and it is picked up by Sergeant Pizza, and he's got Slick My Love in there. And with both those Hunters being down, he should be Gucci. But here comes Nature. Nature Wild Charter is up, goes for the bite. Tries to get something, isn't actually gonna get it. Pizza so low, the charge goes on to Pizza. Pizza jumps down at 0.5% of health. Holy crap, he's got a rend on him. He's trying to stabilize. The entire team is up there. Nick is rezzing. Wushu Yang should res soon. Will Pizza go for the return? He does. It's dropped by Pizza. It's returned by Lucas. The first cap of the game is almost certainly going over to GSC Justice.
I cannot believe that. I mean, that was great play there by skill ratio being able to get that up, but the misplay there by both those hunters killing Pizza and not actually trying to get that body res, knowing that they was needed to pass that flag up. I mean, if they hadn't killed him there, that flag would have been returned much, much sooner. So this is a very, very much so deserved cap there by GSC Justice. Yes, they made a mistake, but maintaining that amount of dominance that deep into the graveyard area, they deserve to get that return. Really, really well played by GSC Justice.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see that on a replay. Let's take it through. We see, obviously, Nature going up there initially was the one to put that pressure there, and he was able to make that whole just crazy thing unfold. You see the charge coming up from Lucas. Lucas puts the Rent on him. Pizza forced to jump down into line of his healers, and holy crap, Lucas, once again coming clutch with those picks. I mean, it's one thing to be, you know, a Boomy who can pick the flag really quick, or an SC who can pick the flag really quick, but having your frontliner being able to consistently lock down those returns is just A+, and that's why Lucas is the warrior he is. You know, MVP so far in this game, I'd say.
I really couldn't agree more, but you do have to notice Dark Chewie's already across the map, and Boomy up on that FC. He's just about to leave his base here. There is some potential for a fast cap here, do you think? Or do you think the timing's a little... Think about the timing may be a little off, but GSC Justice there still holding skill ratio up in the graveyard. I mean, at the start of this game, no, at the start of the last game, GSC Justice was having so much to have a hard time asserting the dominance, but now they have got back onto their horse and they know how to keep skill ratio under wraps.
I really do think a lot of this game, this series rather, is coming down to momentum. Skill ratio obviously was just playing out of their minds at the start of the game last time, but you know, coming off the loss, it's right back in GSC's favor. And you know, right when we were going through that replay, we actually did see the Hunter cutting Dark Chewie. Rather, I saw Dark Chewie being cut by the Hunter. They prevented that fast cap. They knew when Dark Chewie was going to res. They had it timed. They had it calculated, and they were able to cut off the only two options he had. And it did prevent that fast cap opportunity. Of course, GSC not losing mid helps too. So here we go. Boomy crossing mid, trying to push back on a Dark Chewie. But as I say, you know, Castro's Curse, GSC is starting to get pushed back here. A bunch of Rens are ending. They need to stabilize and try and recalibrate themselves as the Warrior is really caught out of position. Ren's ending on him. He's so close to going down, but does get topped up. The shield comes out as well, and he's right back in there. Oh, a huge Bloodhouse Silence coming out from Saxon on that Brewmaster. And, I mean, GSC, they're fighting with all they've got. They're dragging. They're not letting themselves be pulled away from this mid-fight.
And that huge swap coming out there onto the Bukin of GSC Justice there. The charge, though, coming out onto the... He does disengage away there. Great job by him. The Chaos Ball going into the front line. Wuxi Yang, the double frag coming out. But he actually did nothing because no one else managed to connect. GSC Justice, they're looking to turn around here onto Dark Chewie. The root's coming out there by Boomy. Desperately trying to get the triple root out, but it does look like he will be fine at this point. And skill ratio being the dominators of this stage of this fight.
Yeah, well, speak too soon, Blackout. Gaster's Curse, I'm telling you, Knickknack goes down. Wushu Yang might be the next target. Those Chaos Bolts always coming in clutch. These Fears always coming in clutch. I gotta say, Flamer definitely earning his position because here we go. GSC back in that mid-fight. They get Nature, they get control, and that's exactly the way this whole series has been going. But, of course, midfield is not everything. Dark Chewie, he's got 3 stacks, he's got the mobility still. He can piece up tunnel if he needs to. He's got Ezron with him, he's got Grizzle with him, he's got Pizza with him. And it looks like he should be A-okay. He should be Gucci. He should be clean to get up that tunnel. Pizza, maybe not. Pizza's getting cut. He's got no displacer. Pizza's actually almost certainly going down here. Maniac's trying to top him. He goes travel form. And yeah, so it's just going to be the 2 hunters to get up. And GSC continues to get control of this midfield.
Yeah, indeed they do. And it's so, so great to see a triple healer composition being domineered in this 4 healer composition meta. I'm so happy to see a team make it work so, so well. But as you can see here, the whole team of GSC, they're looking to fall back with 11 minutes on the clock. I'm not sure what they're doing here. I mean, I've not seen this play come out thus far into this tournament. Now,
I feel like this is very similar to what they did last game, where they backed out completely. They didn't go for a gauntlet. They didn't put themselves in a position maybe they weren't as comfortable with. Obviously, these guys are comfortable in mid. They eat, breathe, and sleep in midfield. This is just, you know, GSC. They're like, all right, you bring me closer here. They've got a, you know, they've got the advantage of respawning. This is what I was talking about. They're not playing into skill ratio's hands. This is exactly what I was talking about. They don't need to play in SR's GUI. They've got the cap. They can play it slow. They can play it at their back of the map. They don't need to put themselves in an awkward position where they need to split. They're just setting them back. They picked up the Berserker for their Boomy. They're just chilling here. They're daring skill ratio to come engage them on their turf. This is a beautiful adaptation of how you can play around 3 healers, especially because they've got that advantage with the cap. Maybe they wouldn't do it in the first place if they didn't have it, but, you know, they've got the immobility of the Warlock. It's so hard to get away from a team just rushing out at once. This is just an adaptation. Again, I told you we were going to see this. These guys are playing out of their minds as a unit. GSC impressing the hell out of me right now.
Please notice what's going on here. Sergeant Pizza stealthing up the hard ramp here, looking to get in a vantage point. So he's like himself prepared for anything that can possibly happen here, because all they know is that they can clash in mid.
They must
lose mid.
They must know that Pizza's here. If they get a kill off this, I'm going to be awestruck. They must know. HB is not someone to let this happen. The bubble comes out just now, so they know. The bubble just came out.
I think they know too, but Pizza is so close. If HB just decided to move a little bit and cast
There's nothing to lose from him opening. His team's super far away. He's just going to wait. He's just going to wait.
But they'll know he's there. They'll know what he's doing. Being in stealth,
right.
he's not giving away his position. He could be stealth behind his team for all they know, which is why it's a bit of a stalemate right now. But in this situation, the stacks play into skill ratio's favor just because of the position. Let's take a look where Nature is up on that Boomy on that GSC team. He's in with his team there, so it's not like they're trying to mirror the strategy either. So it's looking like skill ratio are one step ahead.
It's the same thing. For example, Nature could be in the same position that Pizza is, but they're kind of still daring skill ratio to go, and now skill ratio is taking the bait. But is it bait? Because skill ratio, like Sergeant Pizza is literally a snake waiting in the grass. He's tracking his prey. HB almost decided to go around to GY here, and that's when Pizza would strike. The Priest coming back to give HB the shield once again. Pizza, how are your jumps? He calls them Dark Chewy jumps because I don't think he messes with them, and then he comes and drops down. I'm telling you, that's what I'm talking about.
That is amazing. All of that hype for that play. Let's check that out on a replay there. Sergeant Pizza waiting like a snake in the grass, as you said, Muskie. He does go for the kill there. And yeah, as you can see, he just falls straight off the top of the second tier of that tunnel. Wow. I mean, that is a really poor play for someone who is as profound as a player like Pizza. I am sorry to say.
Mess with that kind of thing. HB doesn't really either, but HB was able to find it. And look at HB just clowning on Pizza right now. Running him around all the LOS, just absolutely pulling his pants around his ankles. And Pizza, oh my goodness. HB showing why he's the level of FC he is. Just beautiful play.
Oh, it's absolutely phenomenal to see this, because those are the jumps that have been there and stood the test of time.
Pizza played in Wrath of the Lich King. He should know how to do that jump.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's such a basic jump as well. I mean, he calls them chewy jumps for a reason, I guess, and it's evident now live here in the Twin Cup 2016 as to why he calls it that. But you can see Boomy drop the flag there because he doesn't want to take any unnecessary Star Surge damage. At that point, he does re-pick it up there. Great play, great awareness there by Boomy up on that FC, but it looks like that there's still no mid-clash. It just looks like kegs are being thrown around here right now, but the Warriors charge in, and here it goes. Knick-Knack looking to push into Team GSC right now. The Crusaders coming out, the Warstorm coming out to Knick-Knack as the double penance comes in and the Starfire, but there was no Chaos Bolt to follow, so it doesn't go down at this point in time. Skill ratio, it looks like they're backing up a little bit now. Maybe out running around in Ghostal for a reason. I'm not too sure why. He's probably looking to get a better position. The charge comes out onto him, though. The Rens have been applied. The Goblin jump coming out for Maniac, retreating it back into the back line of his team. Knick-Knack sitting on the front line here, though, getting Fear Chain spam straight onto him, taking a ton of damage here. But it doesn't look like actually a significant amount of damage going out into any team at this point, with having the Boomies not in the fight.
The thing is, yeah, the Boomy from skill ratio, of course, is still sitting in stealth up there. HB has been toying around with Pizza for about 5-6 minutes now at 12 stacks, coming up on 15 stacks now. And actually, ESC might catch Pizza out of stealth here, and obviously SR should have no chance in mid without that Boomy. However, Dark Chewy, he knows where the Boomy is. He knows Nature's in mid, so they're actually getting pushed back right now without a Boomkin.
Is this
going on? Skill ratio.
Yo, wow. The huge stomp going to come out from Grizzle there, and it does. It lands, but nothing has been capitalized on that point. The double pen is going to Argent Grizzle as a consequence, but he does survive there as well. It's so slow, the fight here up in mid right now. No kills are being traded at all. The pace of the game has slowed down. Pizza don't take a lot of damage at the top of the tunnel. Forced to drop off the desperation, trying to get back to his team, but he does go down. Great pick off there by the Hunter ESC. Great job. He can rejoin his team in the team fight. But Wuxi Yang has gone down as well. That's the frontliner loss from T-Skill ratio. So Knick-Knack's desperately trying to hold GSC back as long as he can, but he's going to go down as well. The team fight has been abandoned by skill ratio, and Dark Chewy, he has already anticipated this, and he's waiting at the top of his own graveyard for his team to get the regroup.
HB's holding his ground. He's going to stay on top of that tunnel. They know they've got nothing to worry about right now. They sent both hunters up to try and contest. This is a potential, I was going to say, GSC, man. GSC could have got bloodthirsty there. They could have kept chasing, but they know they don't need to. They've back gone up. They've killed so much time. They've baited skill ratio into coming and dealing with them. They baited. They didn't put themselves in a gauntlet where they needed to commit or anything like that. They're just chilling back. They know what they can do. And even though they started to slowly lose that midfield, even without the boomy, it wasn't a position where they really overextended. They just held their line. Nobody died. They gave up a little bit of ground, but they just pushed it right back into into skill ratio's graveyard.
Yeah, they have done that, but you have to be aware, though, that, you know, this could play into skill ratio's favor, too, solely because of the amount of stacks and pushing the clock so far out. If they manage to get a dive onto HB on that FC there called Boomy, then, you know, it could be really, really, really consequential for Team GSC Justice. They have to really be able to hold their ground. If they lose the fight even once, it could cost them the cap and essentially the game.
Here comes the charge out from Lucas on that warrior, backed up by his right-hand man, Saxon. They're pushing into the team of skill ratio. Really quickly, let's take a look. What's Pizza up to this time? He's actually been pulled. I think he's trying to get a stealth right here and being contested by ESC. Beautiful play by them, buying some more time. Knick-Knack is the target right now. He got bear-rooted. He's got no trinket. He's got no sack. The Chaos Bolt's coming into him. Holy crap, he's in a lot of trouble. He gets swapped back to, swaps back to Saxon to get himself out. The flag has been dropped by Dark Chewy, passed over to Agent Grizzle, and I think they're going to send Chewy to go for a play on HB as well. I think, honestly, this should have been done a long time ago, but, you know, that's the difference between skill ratio. They need that, you know, that leadership as a team, whereas, you know, you see HB making individual plays. It's just really boils down to that.
Well, but also notice that nature on that Boomy there called Hunter, they just crossed past there with Dark Chewy, and he's going to get in position to set up on Agent Grizzle, who's on his own in the base, and they know it.
Timer now. They're on a timer. They got to go. Grizzle's actually coming back up roof right now. He's trying to buy himself as much time as he can. They are on a timer. They need to make a play on HB, who's playing extremely safe right now. He's got his Hunter on his back, too. So, Grizzle, if they don't make the play, if they don't get the cap, actually, the Boomy's coming back into mid.
But notice that Repulsed X has gone back to help Agent Grizzle out, leaving skill ratio a player out of mid, which is why he came back to the mid. Then the Star Surge coming out to Maniac, and he looks like he's maybe going to go down, and he does go down. Wow, that is absolutely crazy. But Boomy taking a lot of damage there as well, the FC, and the return come out by Sergeant Pizza. Oh, wow, Grizzle is just waiting for the cap. He's doing /wave. That is it. Skill ratio are going to be able to get the cap, and they know that they can hold it for so long because there is no one anywhere near able to get the repick. This is absolutely phenomenal. Wow, I mean, that is it. I mean, wow, skill ratio.
A massive misplay from GSC. As much as it was a fantastic play from skill ratio, a massive misplay from GSC. They shredded that edge just a little bit too damn long. HB had his toes, you know, right over the edge, ready to jump down, and Pizza able to just put the damage out, pretty much one-shot him. HB did get the body res almost immediately, and we're in the same situation we were in the first game. Is GSC going to be able to quick cap, or is this it? HB punished for his ballsiness, and just like that, skill ratio has taken the lead with 2 minutes left to go.
They have indeed, but there is still 2 minutes. You said it yourself in the last game. Anything can happen in 2 minutes. Blackout, they are your words, so let's see what's going to happen. Boomy picking up that flag now, and I do believe that he's heading out straight down the tunnel. He's going to run straight into the back of his own team, which is really, really fortunate for him. But you can see Agent Grizzle there and Ezeron. They're looking to get across there to give their FC some support. Dark Chewy, who is at the bottom of the tunnel now with Sergeant Pizza, and they're forcing to retreat at this point. No, they're looking to kill the Boomy there called Hunter, because they don't want him to fall back in defense there to be able to stop.
HB has no blink. HB is in a lot of trouble right now. He's trying to live. The fears are coming out under Grizzle. The warrior actually connects. The rend is ending. HB goes bare for him. He's trying to survive right here. He's trying to force it. Can he live? His blink must be off cooldown in just a second. He's looking for the option. Both hunters, of course, being on defense from GSC Justice means Ezeron and Grizzle have made it up to the tunnel, and they're pushing up as well. They're not really giving HB any.
Oh my God, that Chewy is down, and so is Sergeant Pizza. It looks like he's gonna no one to get this repick, and they're going to be able to run the flag home in the fast car. GSC Justice taking a cap in the last 50 seconds of the game. What a turn of events. I told you told me. 2 minutes left on the clock. It means nothing, and it looks like the GSC Justice is going to take this third game out of this best of 7, making it 2-1. Wow, what a crazy turn of events.
So, both hunters going up into the flag room. It was a play that was do or die. They sent them up there. They know that they need to fight that 2v2. There's only one place these guys can go, and it's for that flag. They get the pick. They get the kill. They send HB through mid without those hunters. They get the damage on them in tunnel. HB lives somehow through that fight, is able to make it up tunnel, and actually bring the game to a 2-1 for GSC.
I just cannot get my head around what is going on right now. I was adamant that was skill ratio's game after that misplay by GSC, but it turns out that it played into their favor. GSC Justice taking this game 2 caps to 1, making it 2-1 in this best of 7 series. Unbelievable plays. I want to have a quick once over the scoreboard. I'm not going to linger too long with this one, but let's take a look at this real quick. Priest on that Warrior, topping the damage, 343k, and the Warrior Knick-Knack is 110,000 damage behind him. There is a huge difference in damage out of those Warriors. There really is, but bear in mind that the Warrior topping damage, he did 0 deaths in comparison to Knick-Knack on those 4. But let's check out the healing done there. Blur's X on that Priest, rocking 36k damage, yet doing 304,000 healing. I mean, the scoreboards kind of reflect what has gone on in those games, well, not including those objective plays, but holy cow, this series is getting better and better every game that we go into.
It is absolutely crazy. It's madness out here in 19 Warsaw Gulch. This is... How do you anticipate something like that? The fact that HB was able to brute force through midfield like that, so close to dying, no blink, knew he just had to freaking go. The hunters panicking, trying to get up tunnel, trying to help Dark Chewy and Pizza. I wish we had a play-by-play, I wish we had a replay, I wish we could go figure out exactly what happened on defense there, but it's safe to say that the hunters of GSC are playing phenomenally. It was the exact same situation that happened the first game, where skill ratio was able to get that cap, or get the cap and then prevent the quick cap by having Dark Chewy and Dark Chewy and Pizza on D. They've adapted, they've learned, they know how to deal with it, and I don't know if that sets precedence for the rest of the arena or the rest of the series. If they're going to be able to completely shut down quick caps from now on. It seems like they've got the number of Dark Chewy and Sergeant Pizza. These hunters, man, I'm telling you, as a unit, they are playing fantastic.
I just can't see, like, all of these players are playing so well. It's hard to compliment without complimenting another guy, but then you have to compliment another guy. I mean, they're all playing so well, and it's always coming down to the bare bones of the clock, which is deciding where these games and the outcomes are actually going to fall. I mean, it's just so phenomenal. I've not seen games of this quality broadcasted ever. I must say ever in my life, and I don't think we'll see it again. We really won't, because we don't know what the Legion meta is going to bring, and if it's not anywhere near as good as this is going to be the peak of level 19 gameplay in regards to the 10v10 scene. I mean, this is just perfection across the board. I'm so pleased with the results of these games. I really am.
Blackout, let's dial it back. We've seen how the meta itself has evolved in this series. We've seen GSC deciding to back up, prevent any misplays from happening, trying to. They backed out of the graveyard. They pulled it out of GSC, or out of skill ratio's hands. It's 2-1 now for GSC. They brought it back into their court. They're the ones with the advantage. This is Pizza's kind of element, right? Like, this is his time to shine, but GSC, we've seen how much the momentum has carried these fights. We've seen their decision-making coming out on top time and time again. Where are you feeling right now? What are you feeling right now? Where are you leaning towards?
I don't know. I'm leaning towards GSC Justice, man. Really am. Maybe it's because it's my home blood, being the European dream. But I don't know. But I just feel some warmth towards GSC Justice right now. I mean, because they are challenging the title, they are challenging the champions, and they've been successful thus far. Yes, they've lost 1 game, but they've won 2, and the way that they've won those 2 games has been by phenomenal and outstanding play. I mean, if they continue to go with this kind of momentum, it may go, the next game may go to skill ratio, the one after may go to GSC, the one after to skill ratio, but I think all in all, that the 4th game the fourth win of this series will end up being in GSC's quarter. I mean, I'm just so mind blown right now. I'm lost for words. I really, really am, Muskie Bad. I'm so lost.
Here's the thing. GSC very clearly outclasses skill ratio in mid. Six kills, 110,000 damage more, 4 deaths less. Warriors, comparing them both from skill ratio to GSC. Lucas miles ahead of Knick-Knack. The way that these guys are playing is near perfect in mid, but somehow skill ratio, through sheer willpower, through Pizza screaming 3-2-1 in their ears or whatever the hell it is, they're making these things happen. Pizza was behind HB out of mid for 5 minutes, and somehow skill ratio was still able to push in that midfield. I don't know how it's happening. I think it's got to just be sheer willpower. It's those swaps. It's somehow they're making it happen. And I think that I just don't know if there's any way to stop it. They just always seem to get there. They always seem to get where they need to be in the map. Dark Chewy displacing across the midfield, which surely should have gone GSC's way. It always just comes back and seems that SR is able to pull it out. And even when they don't, it's so damn close. That last cap was so damn close. 1 minute, could have gone either way. The Hunters were coming up tunnel. HB was so low to getting killed. Holy crap. This is a battle of the ages, Blackout. I am absolutely just mind blown. I'm still sitting with skill ratio right here. I think they got the win just because of the way that they've been able to sheerly, willpower control mid. I think that's gotta be count for something.
It has to count for a lot. I mean, because the little in these kind of games is a lot. If there's one thing that's going to give someone a little bit of a push, it's going to make a world of difference in such close games like this. I mean, you was talking about a moment ago about the point where Sergeant Pizza was out the fight for like 5 minutes at the back of Boomy that was stood on the top of the hard tunnel at that point. And you said you were surprised that skill ratio managed to make that push without the Boomkin's presence. But at the same time, you've got to kind of think from GSC's perspective. You've got to think they know the Boomy's out the fight. He could be behind their FC, so they don't want to be the aggressors and pushing into skill ratio once leaving their Boomkin, their FC at the back of the group, who's in a great spot. They don't want to drag him off that tunnel roof there. Do you know what I mean? So if they push in too far, they're going to be out of healing range. So if they're not going to look to push in, they're looking to defend, so they're going to get pushed into regardless of the incoming damage. So maybe that was the reason why, but you had to notice after that they did get punished. GSC, when they pushed in too far, because when skill ratio pushed into Team GSC, that also meant that GSC was inside of skill ratio, and it was just acting from that point where the Tigers loss came out, the Deep Rens come out, and they managed to flatten skill ratio, or at least a lot of them, push them back a little at that point. So with that in mind, that's one of those things, choosing the fight that you want to win. Because you have to remember that GSC Justice, even when they won the fight up in the mid against skill ratio, pushed them back, they fell back again to maintain that post. Because they didn't want to be the aggressors. They wanted a skill ratio to come to them, and that is what they allowed to happen. Knowing the Boomy wasn't in the fight, and they didn't feel any threat coming out of skill ratio without that Boomy.
That being said, what was it that got the kill in HB, right? It was Sergeant Pizza getting that play with Dark Chewy. They knew 2 Druids should be there then. But it's basically, it's been going 1-1-1, right? Maybe it'll go 1-1-1-1-1. We'll see. It's a best of 7. There is no advantage. It's $3,000 on the line. First place, American. So for somebody like me, Canadian, that's like, I don't have to work for the rest of my life. That's massive. It's huge. There is not only money on the line. It's not just money. It's pride. This is Pizza. He said it himself. This is his last Twin Cup, and he wants to go with that 3-peat. He wants to go with the bang. But here we come with GSC. These guys, they were half Harvest last year. They're half GSC last year. Europeans, Americans, Canadians, Australians. They just come together for the love of Warsong Gulch and also the goal of beating Pizza.
That's what it is. It's not just beating Pizza, it's beating skill ratio. That is the motivation. That is the goal for GSC. It always has been, and it forever always will be, as long as there is going to be a Twin Cup. I mean, that's just what it is. That's what they're giving them, their drive to do so well, and they've come so far in such, I'm not going to say a short space of time, but they've come from being just a normal team to an exceptional team.
skill ratio has come a long, long way in a very short amount of time. They went 2-0, or they went 0-2 against GSC yesterday. They played through a number of games in the last 2 days. They've improved. They've cemented their synergy. They've buckled under the pressure even against GSC. They've gone through the trials. They've gone through the pressure, and here they are in the finals playing. They 3-0'd GSC A team, a team that was also considered to be one of the powerhouses in the tournament. A lot of the guys from Harvest last year, obviously, on that team as well. So these guys, I mean, they're just playing under the magic of the Twin Cup. They're playing with the passion of all these guys and how much they love Twinks, how much they love 19 Warsaw Gulch, and how much they love playing with each other as well. And it's obviously showing itself on the field.
It really does. I mean, I'm sorry, Muskie. I just have to say I'm lost for words. I feel like I've said a lot of stuff. And I don't want to continue to repeat myself because I just want to sit here and enjoy this moment. Like, I'm exhausted, but so excited at the same time. I'm exhilarated is probably the word that I'm looking for. I mean, it's so great. It's such a privilege to watch a game like this. Imagine how these
players feel too, right? Because that's a huge part. This is a best of 7, and we've already gone 3 games in. It's 2-1. So at the very least, there's going to be this game and one more game before it's all over. Last year, the Twin Cup ran late, went till I think 3 o'clock in the morning. And exactly like I'm talking about, there's guys from EU. So what time is it for you right now, Blackout?
For me, it's 25 minutes past midnight, but for the EU players, it's going to be 25 minutes past 1.
It's getting up there. These guys have been playing all day. It's coming up on 8 hours now that these guys have been playing. Who knows if they're on earlier practicing, doing what... And it's intense games the whole way through. There's no jokes. There's not you cannot stop paying attention for a second because you've got to track 10 people. You've got to track 19 people in a Warsaw Gulch game. You need to know where everyone is at all times. Having pizza in stealth, you need to know that. If he's in stealth for 1 second, you got to be on the ball. Mental exhaustion, physical exhaustion. You're putting your all into it because you want beat Pizza Hut. You want to beat skill ratio. And that's what it's all about. And of course, from Skill Ratio's POV, they want that 3-peat. They don't want to let their guildmaster down. They don't want to let any of their teammates down.
I also want that juicy out real quick. You have to notice that Slick My Love, the Priest Healer, and the FC from GSC Justice, one from Skill Ratio, have cooldowns on their AGMs. They didn't manage to reset them before coming into this game. Granted, it's only 2 or so minutes, but maybe in the initial fight, Slick My Love not having an AGM, that could be the cost of a life going into this initial team fight. And so that's something that we really have to look out for, because that Destruction Wall will look to capitalize on that.
Every inch counts, man. Every inch counts. Unfortunately, or fortunately, Flamer doesn't know that their AGMs are down. Of course, I'm talking about that Destrolock Shaman. He doesn't know that their AGMs are down. But
true.
At the very least, it might just, the stars might align, and that could be a cheeky kill.
It could be. If that's the target of choice, then that could just be it. I think that's a bit of a mistake from both teams forgetting about that, but there's a lot of pressure riding on them right now, so I do not blame them making such a trivial error at this point in their relaxing time, their downtime in between these games. But again, the mid-fight, the mid-clash is about to go on here. The Warrior GSC going head-to-head against Wuxi Yang up in the mid-fight. The charge coming out on Knick-Knack onto the Brewmaster of GSC, and it just looks like the front lines are just clashing heads at the moment here. But the roll comes in onto the Boomkin Druid of GSC here. The Keg Smash comes out. The Wild Charge, though, straight back to his Priest there. Really, really well played. Skill Ratio have got the momentum, but you can see the Warrior of GSC is on the back line, throwing out War Stomps, throwing out Crusader, Renz onto the whole back line, and they're not punishing him for it. This could be so drastically, but so tragic, the Skill Ratio, if he manages to survive, and he does manage to survive. Pizza has gone down, 100-0, right there. The Chaos Ball coming in there, one-shotting him. Unbelievable. The Rens are about to tick out with that Crusader. Skill Ratio is on the back of it. Wuxi Yang taking so much damage. Mania, the target of choice, catching that big shield there. No AGM coming out, though. Blurs, again, no AGM available, but he's taking some damage there as well. And it looks like the Skill Ratio is so clumped up there. Wuxi Yang is going to be able to throw out huge Keg Smash. Sorry, the Brewmaster and GSC just is going to throw out huge Keg Smashes into Skill Ratio here if you can gain a little ground on them, and the whole team is melting due to that pressure. That was such an error, not punishing that Warrior for being so far back into their team.
Dark Chewy was not able to get around, and he is being cut by the EFC duo. These guys are ready to make a play. And HB also coming back on Boomy, that FC. Dark Chewy knows the 100 is coming ramp right now. He might try and go out GY. Pizza is in stealth. Pizza's on his way. He is going back around to the top of tunnel. He displaces. He might do a Dark Chewy jump. He misses the ledge. He might just commit for it. He's going to go. The stomp is going to come out from HP here, I'm sure. Actually, HP is just putting out the damage. Dark Chewy, he's going to go down. Pizza, can he save him? The flag is actually dropped by Dark Chewy. He didn't even try and give the... He tried to get the pick over to Pizza. He tried to say, 3, 2, 1, drop. But they both go down. They both go down. Where were the hunters from skill ratio? They were not able to make it in time. And GSC running away with the first cap of the game. We've got a replay. Let's take a look at it.
Oh my god, I cannot believe it. The Displacer Beast coming out there from Dark Chewy, desperately trying to get out of the clutches of the Hunter EFC there, dropping down the entangling roots coming out from Pizza, but it just wasn't enough. And the drop of the flag comes out, but the FC Boomy does get the return there. Unbelievable. I cannot believe Pizza wasn't in position for that click. The flag was idle for so many seconds. It was 3 seconds. It was 3 seconds the flag was idle with no one clicking that return. I think that was a preemptive drop there by Dark Chewy. I think that he was panicking, and before the fit count had ended, he'd already dropped the flag. Must have been a miscommunication there on skill ratio's part.
Yeah, speaking of skill ratio, though, they're pushing out of midfield. They are not about to let there be a double cap. They're not going to let ESC get out of this tunnel without, some pressure. Shaman the Priest gets sheared and just smacked in the mouth and knocked right over. That Goblin's down. Shaman might be the next target. He gets his Goblin boots off, and he's going to be trying to run away and survive. Sergeant Pizza in the front line, taking control of this fight. ESC disengages, is going to drop the flag to Boomy. He does send it over. The displace comes out. He should be good and gone. But look at Wushu Yang. Wushu Yang has blocked tunnel. Wushu Yang is so deep, he might go down here. If he does, that could be detrimental. He does go down. He tried to block tunnel and just got a little bit too thirsty. Are you kidding me? A huge misplay from the BM of skill ratio. Will they be able to hold it long enough? At
this point, it doesn't look bad, but it will be bad because Wuxi Yang is going to be down by the time that GSC get a regroup, so they desperately need to kill some more people. Look, Dark Chewy taking a lot of damage here up on the ramp side. One Hunter, he's doing so much damage to him. Repulse is going to be in position maybe to get the healing surges off, and he catches Dark Chewy in the nick of time.
The whole team of skill ratio has backed up to catch Chewy. They've actually let all of GSC out. They're all resting right now. They could actually go in and punish right now. I think they're going to chase this.
I think they're going to chase this too. That was a great play there. Let's take a look at that again. Going into this replay here, you can see Dark Chewy just getting out the ramp there, getting caught out by one of the Hunters, EFC, and he desperately is just trying to get to his team. The displace comes out of Repulsed X right at the bottom there, just about catches in there with that healing surge, keeping him alive, and that secures his position at the back of his team.
Skill ratio wants nothing to do with this midfield. They are just getting the hell out of there. They got the flag. They just want to get out of midfield. This is GSC's bread and butter. They're going to win this every single time. Skill ratio hasn't had a foot to stand on in quite a while. Knick-knack down once again, and they're pushing them into that graveyard. Dark Chewy has head up the tunnel. He's in his healing gear. I think he's probably going to get some support from Ezron, as Grizzle is actually on the other side of the map. An interesting adaptation to what we usually see. Usually the Hunter's trying to get up there to defend his SC as well, but Grizzle feels like he's comfortable being back here. It's 2 stacks. Dark Chewy's not going to take so much damage right now. And he's just going to be a threat from the back end.
Yeah, it's looking that way as well. But you can see now Boomy, he stood there at the back of his group, tossing out those heals, making sure that his squad's going to be able to hold a stand up here against skill ratio at this point. But being up at skill ratio's GY, it looks like they want to be the aggressors. Knick-knack pushing in super deep. They're throwing out Renzo to the whole midline there of Team GSC Justice. And it looks like that the swap comes out here, though, onto Wuxi Yang. They're trying to push him back here, but the charge again coming out onto the Warlock here. The rolling the big keg smash with Landslide. The Goblin Leap does come out there. Great invest of that 1.5 minute cooldown leap there. Really good use of that because that was a lined up kill. The charge coming out to Wuxi Yang there by Priest. A lot of damage going to go in here, but notice that the whole team of skill ratio are continuing to be the aggressors whilst GSC Justice are looking to fall back. The front lines of GSC Justice are holding on for day alive, but it does like they do get topped right back off there. The Incinerates are coming out now from the Destruction Wall. Soon it will be that Bolt of Doom. Is it going to be able to kill someone? Maybe it's going to. Here it comes. The Bolt comes out. The double Kafrai coming out. So Wuxi Yang, he just go down. Great kill there with that Chaos Bolt. Very, very well lined up on that Crusader Ren. And the counter push is real. GSC Justice making that push now back into the graveyard, pushing skill ratio with their back up against the corner. Wow, fantastic kill there, switching the whole momentum of that team fight.
It seems like GSC can't lose mid. It seems like they've escalated themselves to a different playing field. They cannot lose mid. SR has improved all throughout the tournament. They've improved their swaps. They've improved, dealing with teams playing too aggressive with their warrior, everything like that. They've grown, they've adapted, but I mean, how do you adapt to something like this? These bolts, these star surges, these rens, these keg smashes, all lining up at the same time. You cannot pre-heal something like that.
There is no way in this world you can pre-heal that kind of damage, and that is why GSC are running this composition, because they are on that level of play where they can lock those swaps down on a consistent basis. That's why it's working for them. But skill ratio catching the regroup now. Dark Chewy still on the top of the graveyard here. GSC just is one cap up. As you can see, their FC is on top of their sides tunnel, on the Alliance tunnel there, just sitting it out, knowing that he's under no threat, because Sergeant Pizza is out of stealth in the mid, looking to try and take some control with his team. The mid clash is just nigh. It's going to happen at some point, but GSC are just trying to hold it off as long as possible. But here we go. The charge coming out onto Knickknack there. The full root's coming out onto the Warrior front line on GSC, but it does break the Crusader Pro coming out there, looking to go a little deep for some Rens. Maybe we're going to see a Tiger's Lust here coming out from Priest onto the Warrior. Priest to try and get some deep Rens. It doesn't look like it's going to happen here. So much damage going to Knickknack, and he does go down there. And that wasn't even the Chaos Ball. That was just Incinerate spam there from the Destruction Waller. The heals of skill ratio was so far behind, he didn't manage to catch him with heals. Wuxi Yang as well has gone down. The whole team of skill ratio are on the retreat. Hunter's heading up the tunnel. Everyone else running towards the graveyard. Really, really good counter push there by Team GSC.
They actually have a really good cut on this as well. I don't think either Hunter did get cut from skill ratio. Both Hunters are getting up tunnel. They're going to be able to get around the Dark Chewy, but HB is chilling all the way on the back. And once again, we see skill ratio kind of at a lack for words. They don't know how to get into this turtle shell of GSC. GSC, once again, they're going to just back on out and just, force skill ratio to come fight them on their ground.
I kind of agree. It feels like the skill ratio are kind of stood there scratching their heads right now. They do know that the Hunter, the Boomy of GSC Justice, is in stealth, so which is why you're going to see the Hunters, Argent Grizzle, escorting Dark Chewy at that point. That him and Ezreon was both on top of the graveyard for a temporary while there, but they brought Dark Chewy off the graveyard because they know they need to look for a push here. They know that it's not going to be just this one cap. They need to get this cap, but they know they need the cap after as well. And that's only going to happen if they become the aggressor of the situation. And to do that, they need to win the mid fight and be able to lock down FC Boomy into a corner and score a kill and get that return. And that's what they are looking to do. At this point, you can see EFC, the Hunter, going up around on top there to babysit Boomy because Sergeant Pizza is in stealth, and he's looking to maybe break ground up to the ramp side here, maybe looking to go and play the objective, as one would say.
And I was actually just going to say this. Dark Chewy needs to be there to help Pizza. He can put on a Fang set. He can go add to this assault from skill ratio here. They can't do it with just Pizza, but having two Druids open... Actually, EFC the Hunter just dropped down. This could be the opportunity. He went to go pick up that Zerking buff. This is the window for skill ratio, I think. It's actually 12 stacks. This could be their moment. ESC committed fully out. HB is going to drop down to the second level of the tunnel. This is a lot easier of a jump for skill ratio to hit, and HB's just inches in front of Dark Chewy and Sergeant Pizza.
Bear in mind, look at the Warlock's position there for the Fear Peels. He is moving away, though, ever so slightly. They really need to get in there. They're choosing to stay in stealth, and I think that's the wise choice. They don't want to come out and get the displaced into his own team there and have to follow up behind into the thick of things.
There we go.
Here it is, maybe. We're going to see it. This could be the cap here for skill ratio. Are you ready for it, guys? The battle standard is down. A lot of HP to go through there. 5.6k
getting
HP.
contested as well. 15 stacks. Grizzle's also getting hit. They open up on Boomy. Boomy gets topped by his team. They were expecting it. They knew it. Drizzle had to drop the flag. He's trying to out 1v1 the ESC, but Grizzle's going to go down. The return comes out. Boomy, is he going to live here? 14 stacks. No, it's going to go down, and it is returned by Knickknack. So GSC has brought it to as well.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That was a great trade-off, though. But as you can see already, the Hunter EFC for Team GSC Justice is on the pick because he took down Argent Grizzle. But Argent Grizzle is about to res, so he's going to be looking for the cut at ramp if he can catch a res in the good nick of time. But while nothing's going, let's take a quick look at that replay there. As you can see, you've got Boomy there, the flag carrier for GSC, taking so much damage in the clutch there from Team Skill Ratio. And they just unloaded a lot of damage straight in there. They managed to get the return there by Knickknack. Great job by skill ratio. They're getting that cross kill on the flag carriers. But FC now holding this flag. He's just stood at the top, on the top tier of the Horde side right here. Ezreon is probably looking to cut round here to try and force it to make a decision. Sergeant Pizza also falling back as well. Actually, Sergeant Pete's choosing to change direction. He's having a look at the midfield now. He's trying to see what's going on to order his team, what to do. Argent Grizzle, though, he's coming up behind. Yeah, Argent Grizzle's opening up on him here. Maybe he's going to want to look to the flag, but no, there's no
might get pulled out in mid as well. All his skill ratio is dropping back right on top of him. HB's nowhere to be there in time. ASC is just trying to win that 1v1, and Pizza's going to be there too. This could actually be the cap from skill. This is going to be the cap from skill ratio. HB's forced to come out of stealth and blink forward. And, you know, I was going to say it was about a 10-second differential. Skill ratio almost had that cap last time as well. HB, it's all on your hands. There's no boots up. Can he do it? I imagine he's going to go for a resell here. Yeah, he is. He turns around. He realizes who's there. No, he turns. He's indecisive as hell. He can't make up his mind. He's going to turn back around, go down tunnel. He doesn't have the flag. He's going to go just try and live and meet his team. Dark Chewy delaying the cap as all of GSC is kind of stuck outside of the tunnel. Oh my goodness. Agent Grizzle gets the flag, and one more time, let's see if he gives us away to the camera, because that is going to be another delayed cap. But look, they got Boomy pushing up, Hunter pushing up the tunnel. Boomy's dead. Hunter trying to make him force the cap at least, putting out a Star Search. He's got a little bit of help from Shaman on that Priest. They're going to try and force it. They need to force it. But look at the patience from Grizzle. Look at the patience. He's got his track humanoids. He knows he can buy as much time as he wants. 7 minutes on the timer. And they're going to take this fight as well. They might be able to win it. ESC coming up the tunnel as well, that secondary Hunter. They're going to try and make it happen. The other ESC is on the other side of the map. And the rest of Skill Ratio is just going to abandon that fight in the flag room and try and help the rest of their team in the graveyard.
That's the way it is. Looking up, but the pick does come out by the Boomkin Druid on Justice, heading up down the tunnel. By that priest there as well, and there is a hunter covering the bottom of the tunnel there to make sure that they don't get into any trouble. And as you can see there, the real FC called Boomy is going to come and meet the Boomkin Druid at the bottom of the tunnel here, get the pick across. But Dark Chewy has come out of stealth as well, but he is alone. But the only person who's anywhere near is Sergeant Pete, who's looking to cross mid in stealth. But it looks like the EFC Boomy are going to be able to get across before Pizza, unless he comes out of stealth, which he chooses to do. But they now know that it's going to be a 2v2 scenario. Agent Grizzle is desperately trying to break across here as well, because he wants to be able to get some aid.
In the flag room, we've got ESC taking on Dark Chewy. Dark Chewy getting hit pretty damn hard. He's got a proc. The Bloodhouse Silence is going to come out. There it is. He goes bare for him perfectly. I think he's trinketed that as well. He displaces out with the flag. Without the flag, actually. Pizza's there to back him up, so Dark Chewy should be A-okay. Let's take a look. There is Boomy. He's back and ready for action. Let's take a look at the rest of the map. Blackout. What can Dark Chewy do here?
He has to go down tunnel. His team have tunnel control. He desperately is trying to get out of there. The heals come through from Repulsed X. Great timing to be there. The whole team of skill ratio. They're just in the nick of time to keep Dark Chewy alive. Great job there. But Boomy, he's in no safe place right now, and he knows it. So he is forced to go out towards the graveyard to meet up with his team.
Is being cut off by Saxon, and the rest of GSC is coming around for the flank. SR decided to go back tunnel. They got caught. They didn't know that Saxon was there in tunnel. He's cleaving everything. Dark Chewy's right on top of this low stack, so maybe they can brute force right through it. And Saxon, getting too greedy, gets actually taken down and put out of his misery there, as SR is able to recollect themselves outside of the tunnel.
Yeah, really great job there by Skill Ratio, managing to get outside the tunnel there and forcing their way through GSC. Just if they hadn't done that, that could have been a very clutch moment. Only one stack on the flag. If Chewy would have gone down there, that would have been a very disappointing loss there for Skill Ratio. But they recovered it very well. Saxon just caught a res up in the graveyard now, up on that Brewmaster Monk, looking to frontline again for GSC Justice. Let's see what's about to happen here. He goes steamrolling into the front line there of enemy's team. Skill Ratio getting some damage out there. Wuxi Yang taking a lot of damage. The Star Surges are coming out. Choosing to roll back into his team there. The charge coming out onto Repulse. Crusader Wrens are being thrown out there. The roll comes in. The Chaos Melt comes out. And the Keg Smash comes out as well. But he might not be enough to take him down. Maybe he's going to be. He almost drops into execute range, but it looks like he might. Maybe he's going to stabilize at this point, just about getting out of the clutches of Team GSC Justice frontline, because the frontliners with Skill Ratio are doing a fantastic job of snaring the whole team of Justice down, preventing them from pushing over their own team.
Holy crap, Blackout. Holy crap. GSC pushing through mid. They've got 3 minutes and 56 seconds to pressure on and get this cap. The bolt is coming long distance. See ya. Blurs goes down. Slick My Love going to be the next target. He has a tendency of living in this situation, but I don't think it's going to be the case this time. Let's take a look. We've got Boomy at low stacks, 4 stacks. He's going to try and use a little bit of a hand. Send. Oh, the whole team is going. The whole team is going around ramp. They have 2 stacks from hitting 6 stacks. They're probably going to wait for that, and then they're just going to commit and try and just force their will onto SR once again. They're going to try and force that team fight prowess onto Skill Ratio once again. It's up in Pizza's hands now. What is he going to do with his team? Slick My Love, Wushu Yang about to res. Everyone from skill ratio is grouped. Grizzle, Ezron on the top, Dark Chewy at the back. How are they going to handle this? We saw it once before. Dark Chewy didn't drop till the very last second. It was a beautiful play. How are they going to handle it this time?
I don't know if it's going to be as effective up on the hard side, though, because of the shape of the graveyard, but we will have to see. Look at Dark Chew's position there. He really wants to hold on to the last minute, and he does, swap it into that travel form there just before the 6 stacks hit. The skill ratio are going to probably look to play over on GSC's side of the map at this point, whilst trying to snare them down to prevent them from connecting up onto Dark Chewy in these very, very late stages of the game. The 6 stacks has hit, and this is where the pressure is on, and the mid-fight is underway. As you can see here, both the front lines of GSC.
Skill ratio is so stacked, they're all on top of each other. They're going to get so many ratios here, so much AoE damage here.
Chaos Ball coming in there, and Repulse taking a bunch of damage, but he doesn't manage to go down there. This is so much line of sight coming into play here. This may actually break down GSC Justice on their push. They really need to position themselves well so that they don't get pulled and overextended around the corner and punished for it.
Pizza. Pizza just went full YOLO trying to connect with Ezron. They tried to make a play with Grizzle and Ezron onto Boomy, but no, not even close. Here we go. Dark Tree at the back. He's got Pizza to pass the flag up to. That could be part of Pizza's decisions. 25 seconds until they can get the Pizza the flag right now. There's nobody up above. Dark Tree just needs to live. Here comes ESC on the flip side. He's getting heals from Boomy. He's being topped up. Here comes the Warrior. He gets the red. And here comes everybody onto Dark Chewy. It's a dog pile. The flag was dropped by Boomy. That's HB. He's trying to live right now. 8 stacks. They're putting a whole bunch of damage on him. The BM's on him. He blinks in. He's trying to live. He's going to go down. The flag is returned by Knickknack. GSC, they got to get this flag down by Dark Chewy or it's all over.
They have to. You are right. They have to get this flag down, because if they don't, there won't be enough time left on the clock. They have only seconds left, and no one is even pushing in onto that. Is this skill ratio's game, or is it not? What is GSC going to do? They know they have to be the aggressors, but skill ratios do such a great job of warding them off, not allowing them to push around that corner, because going around that corner is a death trap, and they know it. This is looking so bad now for Team GSC. I can only wonder and hope that they can do something to play some into their favor. I am so took by surprise by that play there.
I can't believe they lived, and even without Pizza being up, they went for the desperate play. They went for the desperation play. They didn't think that they could make it. They didn't think that they could hold on, but they did. Somehow, miraculously, the will is bringing skill ratio these victories. And with 30 seconds left, that is a 2-2 skill ratio GSC Justice.
It is phenomenal. This series is going to go to the bare bones and into the very, very last game of the series. This is why we made it a best of 7, guys. A lot of people was querying this, but this is the reason, because the games are just going to get better and better. And when it's all down to one game, that is what matters after such a long series, because this is not just a test of skill. This is not just a test of great communication. This is a test of stamina, a test of fatigue. Can the teams last the full distance without taking any breaks, all in one night after a long, hard day? And it looks like each team can go into this with so much passion, enough to drive them to be able to keep a game as even as this.
Look at the differential on kills this time. 12 kills over to Knickknack, 7 kills over to Ezron. What the hell happened, GSC? Damage is still definitely in the lead, but where it counts, it's only 2 kills for Lucas this time. 12 for Knickknack. He heard me. He heard me. He heard me say it was a miles difference.
Yeah, he did definitely. But if you take a look over at the damage there, though, you have both. Again, you've got the Priest and Hunter, the Warrior and Boomy coming to the top 2 damage on Team GSC Justice. So the damage wasn't really a problem. It was just landing those killing blows that I do believe there was a problem there. Taking a look over at the healing, though, Blur's X topping that healing there, doing 25,000 damage. Slick My Love pulling out 92,000 damage, only 30,000 healing behind. He played really well in that game. But yeah, I mean, that's a very balanced board, if you ask me. Apart from the killing blows, it's pretty balanced other than that. But again, those killing blows is what resulted in skill ratio taking that final cap of that game.
Blackout. It's 2-2. It's the Twink Cup 2016. Best of 7, $3,000 on the line.
I'm so stoked right now. This is absolutely crazy. It's so balanced. It's such close games. I mean, what more can you expect, and what more can you want out of a final? This is unbelievable. I just cannot get my head around this right now.
A lot of people came in and they said that they thought it was going to be, you know, a 4-0 from GSC. They thought it was going to be Pizza Hut or skill ratio, sorry, just absolutely getting destroyed and bashed and graveyard farmed and meat grinded. Obviously, that's not the case. These guys are, you know, you said it before, the stamina plays such a key role in this series. Skill ratio's been here before with a lot of the same players, and they just keep getting better and better and better.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, it's like one game they play awesome. The next game they make a couple mistakes and GSC Justice capitalize on it. The game after GSC Justice makes the mistakes and then skill ratio capitalize on it. It's all about who can be the most consistent with playing to perfection at this point. It really is. But this is something that Pizza is really headstrong about. He can always maintain his composure in the long duration of games. In the long run, he tends to have a very, very composed team. And now GSC Justice, I'm not saying that they don't, but this is something that skill ratio, Pizza and his squad are very, very well known for. They can keep themselves very content throughout a long series like this and playing under pressure as well. I've constantly been saying throughout the whole tournament, I can't wait. I want to see skill ratio go games down and see how they handle themselves under pressure, because I have been yet to see it. But this is the perfect example. One game up, one game down, one game up, one game down. It is crazy what is going on here in today's finals. I'm so psyched for these next up and coming games, and there's going to be at least 2 more games now before this series is over. So we are far, far, far away from the end of this series.
Yeah, maybe we can get a break ourselves, because I am feeling it in my throat. These games are so damn hype, I can't hold anything back. SR is taking a tactical pause. They've got about 5 minutes for that in between their games. I don't know. What do you think? Maybe we can take a little bit of a break, catch a breather, get a drink of water. I think the chat might need it as well.
I think that the viewers may want it as well, because they don't want to leave their seats, because they don't want to miss a single piece of this action while it is live. But I do agree. I think I could go and get a glass of water myself. My throat is a little bit husky right now. So with that being said, guys, 5-minute technical pause left for skill ratio. Then they're going to be forced to get into a game. So with that being said, we're going to take 5, a little bit of music for you guys. Enjoy the music, but make sure you're going to be back here in 5 minutes, and stay tuned for the next up-and-coming exciting games.
big jump. Wow. That was great.
Unbelievable. The CC from the main, I think he's going to be okay. Is he going to be able to get something up? No, he's not. It goes down, and Agent Slick is able to find.
Oh my goodness, the blood operation coming out from Integral, so I guess he can be able to solo HP here. He does.
And the Star Surge opener coming in, the Blood Off Silence 1 coming out, Static Row sitting at 74%. Oh wow, Agent Grizzle returning the flag. Tortui running in, he's going to cap it, and that's going to be a cap going over skill ratio.
Welcome back, guys, and this is it. This is going into Game 5 of the Grand Finals of the Twin Cup 2016 Championships. We have players from all corners of the earth taking part in this game. We have the Aussies, we have the Europeans, we have the North Americans, we have everybody taking part in this grand final. So people all over the world coming together to go head-to-head in a huge clash to see who can go and take home the $3,000 prize. I'm so psyched with what's going on here today, Musky Bad. I mean, how are you feeling right now? We've had a break, but how are you feeling coming back into these games?
I'm anxious, Blackout. I'm anxious. It feels almost like I'm about to play myself because I've got very good friends on both sides of the field. I've got friends in skill ratio, I've got friends in GSC, and I know how much this means to both of them, both sides. They're all so invested in this community, in the game, in the bracket, in this tournament especially. This is something people have been practicing for all year, for 2 years in some cases. I know these guys are so damn passionate about it, and every time you lose, it hurts so much, and every time you win, it feels so good that it's got such an impact on these games. Coming in at 2-2, it's essentially a reset, then it's becoming a best of 3 now. So the first team to win 2 games here out of the 3 is going to be the one who takes the whole Twin Cup home.
I do think so as well, but this next game, a lot actually rides on it. If you think about it, guys, it is the 5th game of the series. The teams are drawing at 2 apiece right now, so whoever takes the next game, they know they need 1 game to win the whole thing, and that leaves that team who doesn't win that game with a lot of pressure under their belt, because they know that they not just have to win, they have to win twice in a row, which we haven't yet seen in this series. It's been going one either way, starting out with skill ratio GSC, skill ratio GSC. I do believe,
based on the way the pattern goes, it was skill ratio who took the last victory, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Oh no, it was GSC skill ratio, GSC skill ratio. I think you're right. Yeah, skill ratio took the last victory, and so you are right about that. Yeah.
So, you know, my prediction may or may not come true. Somebody wants to put some side bets on this bad boy, hit me up in the chat, you know. I don't know. It's just something about, okay, when it comes down to these players that are not only experienced in this situation, skill ratio, players that are wild card players, skill ratio, you've got the experience, you've got the wild card on GSC, but it's just not the same. Look at Grizzle. The guy's a machine. He cannot be stopped. Even though he's kind of fallen off from his glory days a little bit, there's no doubt that he's playing peak performance, peak Hunter in this tournament right now. He's doing fantastically. So is Ezron. GSC's got the same thing going on. It can go either way, but at the end of the day, it comes back to the fact that they've got fantastic leadership in Pizza, and it seems like even though they are outclassed in mid, they are able to close these games out and bring it to 2-2.
Yeah, it's seeming that way as well, talking about these caliber of players. Argent Grizzly's playing really, really, really well. He plays Hunter in a little bit of a different way from what I seem to believe that other Hunters do. Not something like some form of strategy. It's just a finesse of the way he plays, the decisions he chooses to make, the way that he goes about executing them. I always feel like going up against Grizzle that he's such a tanky Hunter. In those situations where you think, oh, he's going to take a lot of damage here and probably die, he seems to take little to no damage, and sometimes that makes him win the 1v1s in these scenarios. Even the 2v1s, sometimes he buys himself enough time to be able to switch and change the direction of a game. So having a player like that play such a crucial class on your side. It's such a compliment and an asset to have on your team. He's one of few hunters that are actually masterful when it comes to something like that. So it's great to see him here taking part in these grand finals for sure.
There's a lot of little things that these hunters are doing as well that maybe a lot of people don't understand or don't notice or maybe aren't familiar with. So, for example, a lot of times you would see people run different pets in different situations too. They've got the snake pet that gives an extra 10% spell power. When you're running with a warlock, obviously that's going to help. When you're running with 4 healers, that's going to help. Most times you'd see somebody running a 5 stat pet or a bear pet. But there's also a bird pet that's been brought out, which also applies the mortal wounds effect when you're dealing in those 3v3 and 2v2 situations, and they're trying to bring it to the finals. Sorry, I actually just got a trade opened by HB, and he asked me to give him some gold. So maybe he's trying to do something cheeky here. He literally said, "Give me, buddy," and then displace it away. I don't know what's going on.
This could be interesting. Maybe we're going to see Honeybun's Guardian come out here. We never know. What I don't think that Team GSC should be doing anything to change their roster right now. They're doing fantastic the way that they are. But I do agree with what you're saying. You know, there's a lot of things that hunters can do, like you say, bringing out that bird pet with that mortal strike debuff effect, which is a 25% healing reduction. So in those situations where you're hitting on someone where they've got a healer available to them, especially in FC with stacks, that 25% healing reduction on top of all the increased damage taken makes such a huge difference in them scenarios. Whereas some hunters, even that some of the hunters competing in this tournament that are considered very, very good hunters, do forget to swap the pets. But players like these of this caliber, Argent Grizzle, you have Ezra on.
Not even just the hunters, but all these guys, they're all adjusting on the fly. Hunters changing gear sets from offensive to defensive when they know that they need to live in a situation long enough for their team to get there, or the FC needs a little bit more healing to win this situation, or if skill ratio is going to have Pizza hold the flag and Chewy's going to heal, or priests know that they're going to be targeted more in this game. It's just so much adaptation in this series, and even in the games, it's just complete mastery of the bracket and mastery of their classes.
It
At
really
an extremely high level.
It's such a high level of play. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people who might even sit here and roll their eyes a little bit about what we're talking about. But when you have a very, very in-depth understanding of the culture and how it works, you can really see what we're talking about. And a lot of the players that are watching right now, you can relate to what we're saying because you understand how important, how many micro plays can be made to min-max your character, to push it to its absolute limit. And those min-maxes actually change out the course of the game, which is why you see these two specific teams here in the grand finals. And because these are the guys, they're pushing their twos to the limit, they're pushing their skills to the limit, they're pushing their little fingers, their utensils to the limit, they're bashing them keys up in mid, scoring those kills, using the Riz, coordinating damage. There's so much that goes into it to be able to compete on such a high level with so minimal amount of abilities. But what that being said, people can sit here and say you have a minimal amount of abilities. It's very easy, but at the same time, you must think with a minimal amount of abilities, you have to be able to use them correctly to get the maximum out of those abilities. And that is what this bracket is all about.
The team fight is also pretty damn explosive because you've got less cooldowns. You can use less things to kind of save you. So much about that is the health pools are low, the healing numbers are high, the damage numbers are high, but when it's so much healing being spammed out and so much damage being spammed out and so much anticipated damage from, for example, Rentix, and you see the BM walking up or something like that, it does come down to, a little extra, having that perfectly coordinated damage to really make that kill land, or even, for example, very similar to MOBAs and Battle Arena games, it comes a lot down to moving as a team, moving around the map, moving as a unit, and kind of countering what someone's doing off very slight positioning. So there's a lot of things that I'm trying to point out. For example, last game, Wushu Yang lusted himself, double rolled in, tried to block the tunnel because he knew that if he could do that, his team would be in a huge advantage. But by doing that, the other team knew he was going to do that, punished him, killed him, and were able to take back control of mid. So many little things like that are happening every 10 seconds, every 5 seconds, and that is the beauty of 19 Warsong Gulch.
You literally hit the nail on the head there, Muskie Bad. You did a great job at kind of summing up all the qualities that go into the 10 to 19 Warsong Gulch, And I mean, we wouldn't be here today if there wasn't a playstyle worth competing for. I mean, look at how far this whole community has come. We're here today in 2016 in the Twin Cup. All these teams turning up today, competing because they want to experience this bracket, this playstyle at its finest. And this is what we're here. We're all sharing this experience together. And I'm really, really happy to just be here and be able to witness this firsthand, as I know that you must be as well. I mean, it's just such a great playstyle. It's so under-recognized. And this is what we're here to do. We're here to encourage the playstyle, guys.
Well,
I mean, it only can get better.
It's so fantastic, too, because these guys are all great friends of ours. We have played with these guys for so long. Like, Pizza has been around this community since vanilla. I said this before, but, like, this is a community. This is the same thing as a high-level, you know, RPG group where you always run into the same guys, except we do this day in, day out. We play with these guys day in, day out. They're all in our battle tag. We all talk to them on the forums. We all talk to them. We all hang out in Skype or Curse or any other program. It's all about just like a commune of players that have just escalated the skill level so damn high. It's beautiful, man. I love it.
Yeah, I do as well, and it's the sense of community within this community. It is great because there's nothing better. Well, the way that it feels to me, because, you know, me, I'm a long-term World of Warcraft player as well, like many of the other 19s that play this. And at the same time, you have to realize, when I say this, I mean, I've played back in the day from the start of vanilla all the way through and through. You know, I was playing level 60s alongside my level 19s back then, got rank 14, got Grand Marshal in vanilla. So when we're going up queuing Warsong Gulch and stuff every single day, you run into the same people because they're from your realm. You know who they are on the enemy team. There's the regulars who queue.
Absolutely.
Who you are always queuing up and into. And that's what the only part of the game now that's still left that can give you that sense of community is the 10 to 19 bracket, because everyone is so tight-knit. We have a place where we collect to discuss things on the forums on xpoff.com. That is where we all hang out. There's, like you said, these TeamSpeak channels, these Skype calls, and everything that goes on. These guilds, these regular war games, these random BGs going on all the time, daily, and it's just such a great thing to be a part of. And I'm really happy and very fortunate, very fortunate person to be a part of it. I wouldn't change it for anything. I really wouldn't. It's an absolute pleasure to be a part of such a small and very competitive community.
And I think we are into the game blackout. We had a little bit of trouble with some people's computers, but I think everything is sorted out. And you know what that means? It means it's time for the tiebreaker. 2-2 coming into this series. It's $3,000 US dollars on the line. Twink Cup 2016, baby. Skill ratio taking on GSC Justice. It's basically a reset right now. It's basically like the losers bracket reset or something like that. Best of 3. No AGMs on cooldown this time. Skill ratio coming back from a very one-sided game, able to bring that one home. They've been down in mid the entire series, but somehow they keep just winning and winning and winning and making things happen for them where they really shouldn't be happening. And it's no fault, really, of GSC. I don't want to say that it's massive mistakes. It's tiny little things that GSC is just... They're just, you know, they're getting the ball through their legs or something like that. It's just... How it's happening is just kind of blowing my mind.
It really is. There's so many minor things. I mean, there is things as well that we are definitely not picking up on because we can only have our eyes on certain areas of the map. I mean, you know, we're trying to point out everything that we can, which is game-changing, but there's so many minor things that can go wrong and so many minor things that must have gone wrong that we overlooked that have changed the direction of these games. I mean, there's only so much we can do to like help everyone understand what's going on here, and especially ourselves. But these teams, they are playing near to perfect. This is as perfect as 10 to 19 Warsong Gulch is going to get. So guys, whilst it's live, whilst we're here, enjoy it because it's not going to go on forever. The gates are very soon to open. Each team eager to get out of those gates, eager to pick up those Zerkabos and go head on head on the mid clash, which is near inevitable.
We are not seeing any compositional changes. We are not seeing any player changes. We're not seeing any player swaps. Same 10 players from each team. We've got Wushu Yang and Nick Nack on the front line. They've been having a lot of trouble this series. They get constantly exploded by Nature on that Boomkin and Flamer on that Warlock. Obviously, all of GSC has changed their names to make it a little bit more complicated to target them. But all the same, skill ratio is still finding those hits every single time they try and find one. They're getting at least, you know, very close to locking down those targets and locking down those kills. One more time in midfield. Both these teams have cooled off a little bit, but they're ready to explode in midfield once again.
Yes, they are. GSC Justice charging in right there. The full stop charge stun coming out there. Knick-Knack swapped his talents over. That is a charge stun I just seen there. That can be really, really impactful in the team fights later on. The lust coming out to Knick-Knack. The deep rens coming through. The roll coming back, though, by Saxon up on that Brewmaster for GSC, denying that push in there by Knick-Knack. Really well played there by him. Argent Grizzle is coming in here. The Warstomp coming out to one of the priests there and instantly gets straight back out there. The charge coming out over to Wuxi Yang, and it looks like that the fight this far is stable. The Crusader Rens, though, are going to be ticking out soon. Which team will capitalize on the Rentix?
You can see how scared Wushu Yang is from those bullets. Even if it's not lined up with anything, he's double rolling back out of that fight. Ren's ending. Bolt is coming out. It's going to be on Wushu Yang, I'm sure. No, it's Grizzle. Grizzle actually gets back out of there as well. A weird kind of one swap they're trying to do there. It's definitely an even mid so far. Mana's dropping low, but health bars are the only things that have not gone down to 0 so far.
All healers on Team GSC Justice are around 50% mana already this early on. Whereas you see skill ratio, the majority of them are around 70, 60, 70%, even 80%. So they're doing a great job with their mana right now. But GSC relentlessly pushing into the depth of skill ratio, looking to get these kills out. And Wuxi Yang goes down on that Chaos Ball. Great swap over onto him there by Justice. And you can see skill ratio, they're just going to abandon the fight. They know it is over. Dark Chewy heading up the tunnel there with Ezreal and Argent Grizzle. Is Maniac going to go up there, or is he going to stay at the back of the group? Who knows? Sergeant Pisa relentlessly throwing out those entangling roots, slowing down the momentum of Team GSC Justice so that they don't collapse on the whole team at the same time. But it looks like the first fight goes in favor of GSC Justice.
Yep, GSC's been here before, though. They know exactly what to do. They're setting their whole team around. I'd say this has worked out maybe 75% of the time. 3 out of 4 times they've tried it, it's come out on top. These guys are doing the same thing that lost them last game, though. They went for this play, and it just didn't work out. They weren't able to get the kill onto Dark Chewy. When you put skill ratio with their back against the wall, they seem to come out on top.
Yeah, they're like a mouse in a corner. When you corner a mouse, it's only going to bite, and that is exactly what goes on. That is their strength. They know how in such a fine, acute angle, they can see that opportunity, and they will always come out fighting. When they're backed up into a corner, you can see the whole team of skill ratio clumped up now behind the leaf hut over that side, and GSC Justice spreading out around there evenly, looking for the openings, looking to throw a little bit of damage in. All the damage racking up is what is important. And there we go, the charge coming out there onto Wuxi Yang, the Ren's coming out there. Priest taking a bunch of damage here on the front line, taking a little bit down. Does get picked back up though, and it looks like it's going to be a bit of a stalemate on the front line here. Priest knows he can't charge around the corner there. Skill ratio trying to bait the front liners around the corner. They know that is their strength. It worked out for them in the previous game. And Wuxi Yang falling back there. The Chaos Ball getting denied there by Shaman to the LOS.
Lucas pushed in just a little bit too far, forced to pop his AGM, and it's gone instantly. He would have been blown up very quickly there, but he pokes just back out to get topped by his healers, and he knows he's got to back line out a little bit.
Yeah, you can see here, GSC Justice, they know that position is playing to the strength of skill ratio, so they're just falling out a little bit here at the minute. You can see the FC at the back of the group taking some large amount of distance away, not even looking to throw heals from the back line here. He knows that he's expected to back out here at this point, because you know when your team falls backwards, that is when the enemy team can push over the top of you. And they can collapse onto your whole team, so he is wary of that. But the Buki taking a lot of damage here on skill ratio, but he does get picked back up. Great job there. Wuxi Yang being trained up on that front line, trying to ward away GST. Just if they just want to play for the stacks, the 6 stacks have hit. Dark Chewy is at the back of the group there.
Yeah, they're just waiting right now. They're just waiting. They know that they can play it to higher stacks. They don't need to commit right here. When they go, they need to go completely in. Right now, it's 6 stacks, 7 stacks just hit. They can't kill Chewy as easily as they want to. They need to go in. They need to AoE them up. They need to clump them all down, stack racials in that fight. And honestly, they decided to back on out for now.
What do you think about this? In this situation, why doesn't GSC Justice head up the rampway and come at skill ratio from the side over the top of their graveyard? Because they're able to take control of the hut if they did that. Maybe that could be a great angle to come at skill ratio, because skill ratio feel like they're in their element.
He's just in the back. He's opening up on HB. 1, 2, 3 star surges. And he's going to blink on out of there. But this actually could be the opportunity for GSC to push in. 8 stacks, the dot comes out, another Star Surge gets arranged by HB here. Dark Chewy is starting to get threatened by the rest of this GSC team. They're pushing in. They know Pizza's out of the fight. And like you said, that hut control is so important here. Normally, you never see an objective like this in Warsong Gulch, but they're utilizing it expertly. And we'll see what happens if they're able to pull them around that corner. Pizza has gone down here, and he doesn't have a body res either, so 9v10, this would be your most, probable chance of engagement.
I mean, just look at this. Look at Dark Chewy's position. He's so close to the front liners of GSC Justice right now. And if they just manage to just roll on in there with a healer, he could be punished. So it's so important that he maintains a good angle here. If he gets caught out and gets caught with the Crusader Ren charge, that he could be in a lot of trouble. But you can see here the team...
Agent Grizzle wanted it. He wanted it. He was looking for it. But he got cut by both those hunters, pulling some attention towards his way.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, it looks like GSC Justice are getting a bit of an angle here. So Wunyang taking a lot of damage here, rolling back into his team. It looks like he's going to recover from that one, pushing straight back out though. Knick-Knack is now the target of choice for GSC Justice. They're really denying the Warlock's Chaos Bolt here because the Warlock cannot get into a good position without being an eligible swap target. But he does. He's found his ground there. The Incinerates come flying out. Maybe a kill's going to come out soon. Maybe not. We'll have to wait and see. It's a matter of time before one player goes down on either one of these teams.
It is, and HB is all the way in the back. He knows he's got time. He can be safe. There's nobody over there who's contesting him right now. And now it actually looks like GSC is hitting from both sides of this hut. They're getting pushed back towards their graveyard once again. And, you know, GSC, they need that line to get those Chaos Bolts. Like you said, they're starting to come out right now. There was an opportunity to kill Wushu Yang just before, and he's definitely the target again. Now you see him dipping down to about 30%. Dark Chewy is going inside the hut. He's right at the entrance. He's going inside the resto hut. This could be so bad. He's lining from both sides, though. I love it. It's so hilarious. You've never seen this situation. They're on him. They're on Dark Chewy. Both hunters are protecting HP from getting cut as well. So Dark Chewy with that rend on him. He's got 12 seconds before he gets laid out. He's popping his trinket, his Battlemaster's trinket. He's trying to survive. Sergeant Pizza's trying to survive as well. Shaman has gone down. The Warlock has gone down. Is skill ratio going to be able to live here? He gets caught in a bear form! Dark Chewy just got caught in a bear form. Holy crap.
That could have been absolutely devastating there for skill ratio, but it looks like he managed to recover. Fall out here, losing one of their big glass cannon damage dealers at this point. Agent Grizzle frontlining at this point. The team skill ratio, he's just being relentless, punishing GSC Justice for falling out at this point. Knick-Knack charging straight on in there. The charge comes out into Knick-Knack. He's so deep into GSC just as his depths at this point, trying to get some Rens out. They really want to capitalize on this push right here and want to get a wipe here onto GSC Justice to potentially get the kill out onto Boomy.
HB is okay. HB, of course, Boomy. Prominent streamer, Fear of the Buns, Honey Buns. He is the one playing that FC, and he's considered by many to be the best FC in the bracket. We saw it last time. He was able to, just avoid Pizza's damage, but what can Pizza do to really get his team out of this midfield? Because it's really not where they want to be right now. Dark Chewy heading up tunnel. He's going to get cut by his 2 hunters if he's not careful. I just don't know what skill ratio can do here. They never really seem to be able to ground. It's 11 minutes. It's 0-0, 15 stacks. It's really do or die for both teams right now if they want to get the first cap. It's going to be probably the first person to make a play is really going to be the one to find the first kill on the SC.
Yeah, I think so too. But GSC Justice, again, they've found their ground. They've got their foot wedged into the floor. They are not going backwards. They only want to go forwards. The BM there.
Look at Pizza. Look at Pizza. Pizza is right behind HB. He's looking for it. So I'm talking about the first move. Maybe he can do it. I don't know if he has points or not. He's getting very close. He might just try and get points and then back on out. The Hunter's coming in from Grizzle. Pizza. He's opening with the Star Surge. HB gets the shield. He takes 1 Star Surge. Doesn't do a lot. There's the second one. Dips right down. Gets popped right back up. And Pizza will blink out. And HB should be okay for now. But
well, that
the
was a
position
trade-off
of
there,
GSC
though.
has been compromised. However, look at that. Knick-Knack has gone down.
Yeah, that was a trade-off there. They traded off that attempt on the EFC right there for Knick-Knack's life, and that might be costful for skill ratio at this point. As you can see, GSC Justice are being the aggressors, holding them at the graveyard right now. Is this a time where they're going to look to make any kind of plays, or are they going to hold them at the graveyard? We are only going to find out. The mid-clash is live right now.
Pizza. Look at Pizza one more time. HB's actually getting chunked pretty hard by this pet with no bubble on him. There is no bubble on. Pizza opens, goes for the bite, the shred. Just get some points, maybe staying in combat. I'm not sure. He displaces away. He is going to make it up there to defend his FC from above, from any hunters, which are up there. He's going to try it. He's got Grizzle hitting from one side. He's got Pizza hitting from the other side. And Pizza going for the defensive option instead of the offensive. But if he does that, and Chewy does die here, that's going to be a cap.
This looks like they're all in now. It really looks like they're all in. Both hunters, they're relentlessly throwing out damage. One well. Scorpion comes out of the flame, that one chuck, and Dachu goes down, and it got returned by one of those hunters there, ESC, and look at this now. Sergeant Pizza, it all rides on you. You are the only man who can get a return on this flag. Is he going to capitalize on this opportunity, or is he not? He's in stealth. He really, really wants to go for this, but he can't because he's being cut now by both of those hunters. And it looks like the GSC Justice are going to take the first cap into this game. Wow, what a fantastic way to score a kill on an EFC. But let's take a look at that again on a quick instant replay, guys. You can see both of those hunters there unloading all of their damage into Darchu. It looked like he was fine, but the flintlocks came right out there. You see the rabbit going across and instantaneously exploding onto Darchu and catching that return there. Great plays by the hunters there from Team GSC Justice.
Yeah, and, you know, of course, Nature being there one more time to lock that down for his team. Anytime these kills go by, it's, of course, part of Nature's attempt with that 5-bite. He's just, you know, instrumental in finding these returns, even if it is at those high stacks. So Pizza getting 100-0 right off the bat from this mid-fight as we jump back into live. And HB is going to hold that flag for a little bit, give him some time. The only person who's gotten by is, of course, Dark Chewy. He's up tunnel right now. If HB is not careful, he could get 1v1 by Dark Chewy, but of course, his timing is impeccable, and he knows exactly when to cap the flag. There was an opportunity for a quick cap there, but as Skill Ratio charged out simultaneously as HB was, you know, getting attempted assassinated by the entire team of Skill Ratio, they were able to get some ground, but they weren't able to hold it. And once again, GSC's got control of this midfield.
Yes, they have. The flag gets picked up by EFC, the hunter of the GSC Justice right here. But Skill Ratio on the counter push. The priest is going to go down here. Down. That's one of the heals down. There's Hearts coming out over to the walk. She goes down as well. Oh my god, this is crazy now. The counter push is real. Skill Ratio maybe going to be able to get a fast cap off on here because the EFC, the GSC Justice is all alone with no support. Desperately, the Resto Shaman is trying to break off. Maniac looking to contest, but it's not going to be enough. So maybe, just maybe, is the FC for GSC Justice going to survive. But as you can see, HB up on that Resto duty. He's got the pass over now. So it's going to be a 3vX situation if they look to be contested at this point.
Yeah, they're actually abandoning that Shaman as well. They're letting BM get over there with HB, with EFC. It's going to be kind of a back and forth kind of situation right now. How is Skill Ratio going to handle this? We saw when GSC was put in this position, they literally just left the map with all 10 and just went to go try and crush. But I don't know if that's going to be the same case for Skill Ratio because we see time and time again, they are the weaker team in mid.
We do see that, but it changes game from game. You know, it's all about having mid at the right time, not all the time. That is a lesson we have all learned from this grand finals. But so we have to bear that in mind whilst we are trying to analyze what's going on up in these games. But the mid fight is 9. Knick-Knack now trying to make a push in here, throwing out the Rens up on the front line, taking the shield. The weakened soul effect, he's there, but he is the target of choice. There is no bolts coming out just yet. The Immolate being spammed out there, and the Incinerates by that Destruction Warlock just racking up those embers there, and the Chaos Ball is coming out. Here it is. Who's it going to go on? And it lands, but it does absolutely 0 damage. Really impressive shield that came out there just in the nick of time. Did not get purged, absorbing the whole bolt there. And Skill Ratio are relentlessly pushing GSC Justice back up into their own graveyard. And it doesn't look like they're going to be able to do a right lot about it.
Wushu Yang dropped with about 1% health there. The triple fear into the bolt. We've seen it over and over, and it almost always succeeds. But look at that. You don't need a bolt when you're trying to go up against a shaman. A warlock. Shaman gets taken out. Pizza actually gets taken out in return, though. So 2 powerhouses from both teams are down from each side. Boomy, the FC, is being pushed back into the corner. This is a bit awkward for him. He doesn't have anyone to pass it over to right now. The only person in that GY is the Warlock, and he doesn't have a good angle to displace over and pass it up. But he might not need to, as his team is trying to regain control of this midfield. Dark Chewy was kind of in a little bit of an awkward situation. Lucky for him, it's not 6 stacks. He's very deep in his team, but he does have that movement speed until 6 stacks, so he should be able to mosey on out of there.
I think that he should as well. Skill Ratio are falling back. The full charge comes out there onto the front line of GSC Justice as they relentlessly just try and push Skill Ratio back out of that graveyard charge coming out to Knick-Knack there. Crusader Ren's coming out. There it is. Again, the Crusader brought the Thunderclap. Are they going to be able to capitalize on Knick-Knack's overextending while his heals are falling back? Maniac desperately trying to get away there, just sacrificing Knick-Knack upon that frontliner, I do believe. Maybe he's going to go down. I think that he's going to get into execute range. And oh my god, is he going to go down? He's surviving by the skin of his teeth, and he gets picked back up. Great healing there by by skill ratio to do that. That was really, really phenomenal. And the pressure has been turned right back over onto GSC Justice.
Yeah, and now HB with that flag is trying to get all the way back. It looks like he will have the pass. There is the res. It should be headed over to EFC. The Hunters from skill ratio are already starting to cut. Grizzle's heading up around to that ramp side. And it looks like he might be helped from Pizza. No, Pizza's just giving him a reju. And you can see that's that bird pet I was talking about. Grizzle's pulled it out. He's going to get that Mortal Strike effect on EFC if he can get over there, prevent any healing from him going out. And, you know, when you're getting up to these 70%, 170% increased damage over, it's pretty insane.
But you have to notice that Boomy on that Wrestle Drew just opened up in mid there onto Repulse, throwing out that wall stomp and almost scoring a kill off it, but failing to do so. They're just relentlessly trying to push out the Graveyard now, using the Wrestle Drew in the team fight instead of the Hunter. This is a pretty interesting turn of events. I've not really seen this kind of way to use a Wrestle Drew being used before, but maybe they're going to look to pass the flag back over. He's dropping into bare phone there, going to pick the flag. I think that's the wisest choice there because of Argent Grizzle's position up the top there. The Hunter EFC, if he was to hold the flag, one score prop may all it would take to be able to score a kill there. So it's a wise choice to swap that flag right back over with it being up at 8 stacks.
So I really like that by HB. It was a good idea. Unfortunately, because Grizzle was there, it kind of foiled that plan. But especially when Dark Chewy is heading across the map by himself, if HB can get in stealth and get across the field, he'll easily be able to 1v1 Dark Chewy. And if his team is not getting pushed in on, like HB hasn't been touched in a long time, he could easily drop the flag over to 100 and just, if he's got enough time, he can get over there. He can try and get a repick if he thinks he's got no hope for his team to get out of this situation. He can try and set up a kill with his double druid or anything like that. But he's not going to be able to be in that situation. Both Hunters are going to be prevented from crossing. So Dark Chewy is chilling all by his lonesome on the other side of the map. Whereas Boomy, HB, is being forced into the very corner of the Warsong Gulch flag room. Or, sorry, map.
He has been, as Sergeant Pizza has gone down here. This is a relentless push by skill ratio, but at the cost of lives. Argent Grizzle going down as well. Blinders taking a lot of damage here. A kill was almost scored onto the destruction wall a moment ago, and that could have been very, very helpful if it had landed, but it did not. So now the aggressors being ESC Justice, you can see both Hunters looking to break off now to head over to Dark Chewy. He's going to be in a lot of trouble. EFC, the Hunter, has made the break across mid. He's going to be able to do it, but Sergeant Pizza catching that res, looking to cut him off there. Argent Grizzle will not be long behind there. The first aid coming out there by ESC, the Hunter, are going to be able to have a 1v1 up against this Druid right here around this sort. I think he should probably look to try and break back to his team at this point. I don't think he's going to be able to win this fight now that it's going to become a 2v1.
Yeah, Pizza picking up that Zerker especially. Grizzle joining him especially is going to deter any attempt from EFC. Blurs has gone down following that play as well, and the entirety of GSC is pushing out of the graveyard, including that flag carrier. They're 10 men in mid now as soon as that Hunter gets back. But don't forget, Pizza is still a little bit unaccounted for. He's got Zerker as well. He's going to be trying to go for a play onto Boomy. 120% increased damage here. Will he be able to find it? There's no bubble. But they do know Pizza's out of mid. There's the bubble.
Take a look at Ezeron, though. Ezeron is looking to open up. Look at Pizza's position. The very GSC looking to head back on the gauntlet with 1 minute to go. Pizza should have anticipated that and got ahead on the route. I think that would have been the best thing for him to do there. But GSC Justice desperately trying to just slow down skill ratio as they relentlessly trying to push it.
1 minute left.
Before it forms. 1 minute left on the clock. You are right, but it is an absolute cleave fest in the center there. BM going down on GSC Justice now, and this may be is going to snowball. Wuxi Yang is in his element right here for team skill ratio, just cleaving down all of these players. The Discipline Priest has gone down here as well. Maybe this gauntlet is broken before it even gets set up. Is skill ratio going to be able to capitalize on it? What is Argent Grizzle going to do with his flag? He stood in the flag room. No, sorry, what is Boomy going to do with the flag? He stood at the top of the graveyard, but it looks like, looking at the position of players on the map, there's only Sergeant Pizza who can make the difference.
It's not over yet. Sergeant Pizza is down below HB, cutting him off from being able to commit across the map. He's got Maniac with him as well. HB is going to get sandwiched from the entire team with skill ratio. They haven't lost anybody. Dark Chewy goes down, but he's part of the fight in midfield right now. It doesn't matter. They're going to chase HB. 15 seconds less across the map. Grizzle standing on cap. Will they be able to connect with HB? He had this in his plan all along. He knew, but Pizza was there to counter him. The Hunters are going in. Pizza's going in. Ezron gets feared. Pizza is about to get feared, and the game is over. GSC is able to take this one home.
Taking it home, making that a 3-2 in the series overall. 1 cap ahead. Wow, what another great game. With Fail, these guys are failing to deliver fantastic content for us to watch right here, guys. This is absolutely phenomenal in this grand finals. There is $3,000 on the line, and boy, do you know it. These teams, they know it. They're trying and pushing themselves to the absolute limit to try and take every single game here, and it is so even. 1 to skill ratio, 1 to GSC Justice, 1 to skill ratio, 1 to GSC Justice, but GSC Justice this time coming out on top, 3-2. Let's take a look at the scoreboard. As we, in fact, it's looking pretty normal on this scoreboard, so I'm just gonna leave that scoreboard alone. It's pretty much the same as every other game, you know, the same people topping it as usual. I don't want to go over that just again because I'm so hyped right now. Who wants to look at a scoreboard when we've got so much else to talk about?
Thing, man, you're talking about GSC bringing it home once again in that midfield. You know, like you're talking about that scoreboard, same thing. Once again, GSC dominating, putting out top damage. Boomy and, the Boomy and the Warrior, topping that every time. There was one game where Nick had more kills. GSC consistently dominating mid and able to hold on to it this time. It was close. It was very close. With the last few seconds, HB was in a like he was gonna go down. Had they had another maybe, you know, 30 seconds, Pizza wouldn't have rushed in so fast. Ezron wouldn't have rushed in so fast. It was 15 stacks. It was very close to being a game that skill ratio would have been able to take. I feel so bad for Grizzle holding the flag. I gotta say, I'm a huge fan of Grizzle. Had Grizzle been there instead of Dark Chewy died. I don't think Grizzle would have died. Grizzle is the man who would have been there at ramp. Grizzle is the man who would have been there to complete that series for skill ratio. Dark Chewy trying to take it into his own hands, unfortunately falls flat on his face, and I mean, it's a call probably by Pizza, something like that, but I feel so bad for Grizzle sitting there in that situation. That's a Hunter's wet dream. He wants to be there to execute that FC and bring his team home the money. But, you know, there's always another chance. If GSC wins one more game, they're taking it home. Skill ratio needs 2 more.
Yeah, I completely agree about the Grizzle call. I mean, that, like you say, it is the wet dream of every Hunter. Knowing with such a high stacked FC, Scope Proc ready and available to just get thrown out there and loading insane amounts of damage that can come out of that. I mean, and the fast clicks as well, being that Torrent, bringing out that Warstomp just as the SC may be about to go down to guarantee that return. There's so much potential bringing a Hunter of the caliber of Argent Grizzle into that fight. Maybe that was a bad call.
Grizzle's like the man. He's like the one who will get those threes at the, you know, last 2 seconds in the game. Like, he is your wild card, and he was stuck holding the flag, which is so just heartbreaking to me.
Yeah, I can agree. I played some with Grizzle, you know, in practice games, exhibition games for the Twin Cup this year, and he is a phenomenal player. He's one of the better Hunters that I've ever played alongside with because he's so capable in every single scenario. What a player, what a guy. It's just unfortunate that he was chosen to be left with the flag at that point. But maybe that's a mistake, or maybe that, yeah, I'm going to say that is a mistake. We're going to have to take that as a mistake, I do think. So maybe that's a mistake that skill ratio have acknowledged.
The thing is, I think in a situation where they're trying to break a gauntlet, it would be it would be an advantageous thing to have the wrestler turret there. And I don't think this did factor into HB's decision, but HB literally displaced up tunnel right when he saw everything that was happening outside and did not stop on his way to GY. He did not make the mistake that so many other players have made, going up on that gauntlet, trying to set up on that gauntlet with half a team, you know, out of position, trying to kite and make his GY and falling into the trap. He went straight to GY. To their credit, skill ratio also saw that coming. Pizza was outside, Maniac was outside. They were there to cut that as well. Unfortunately, they were only below GY. They weren't above GY. So they had to wait for the rest of their team to get there before they were able to pile on that damage as well. And, you know, it just goes to say, like, once again, this game comes down to the wire. It's so close. It's a single decision here, a single decision there that is really keeping these games from going, you know, one way or the other.
It really is. It's what's keeping these teams afloat. Both teams being really, really good at making the right decision in these scenarios. You know, there's so many other players that play this game that would have made the wrong call in a lot of these situations, and they wouldn't be panning out like you are seeing right here in front of you. That call to go to the graveyard, like you said there, by Boomy up on that FC. Fantastic call there. Like you say, I've known many FCs who look to go to Roof because they think it's the vantage point where it really isn't. But again, the awareness of Sergeant Pizza, he managed to get the cut. It's a shame no one else turned around. I don't know where Ezeron was at that point. Maybe he'd already committed up tunnel, but it would have been great to see one of the Hunters. Yeah, it would have been great to see one of the hunters there with Pizza, because maybe, just maybe, that would have been enough to get.
Because I had been there right when
down.
HP was coming out, getting a scope proc, you know.
I know, but it's not the way that it panned out. It really didn't. And GSC deservedly took that game for it. I mean, great plays by both of these teams here. But right now, GSC is on a tactical pause. There's around 2 minutes left of that. So we should be looking to get into the next game in the next 2 minutes. Obviously, talking over some stuff. These guys are going to need their time between these games. I mean, this is so overwhelming, even for like me, as I can't even imagine what's going through their minds right now. Being in the finals, they know it's an all or nothing kind of game right now. So this means that skill ratio, this is what I've been wanting for this whole tournament. I've wanted to see skill ratio on the back foot, playing under the heat of the pressure, knowing that if they lose one game, they lose the whole tournament. Their reign of being the Twin Cup champions is over, being overthrown by Team GSC. And I mean, this is imperative that skill ratio take the next game, and they know it. So I want to see how Pizza orchestrates his team under this amount of pressure. And if they manage to win the next game, they still have to win the game after as well. Winning 2 games on the bounce is going to be the first time we've seen it within this best of 7 series. So the probability of that happening, looking at the track record, is very, very slim. Well, with that being said, Musket, I mean, do you agree with that, or what are your thoughts going into this next up-and-coming game?
I'm still sticking with my guns. I still think skill ratio's got this. I think that, like I said, they just keep getting better and better and better. And it was so close. They were in the right position there. It's just one decision here, one decision there. I think that GSC is just, they're being put in a position where they're having to make decisions on the fly. And I don't think skill ratio is making decisions on the fly. I think sometimes they're put in a situation where they are forced to try and wing it, or like, you know, make something happen, like when we saw the Pizza Dark Chewy thing, where unfortunately they lose mid and there's nothing they can do, but you know what they're trying to do. At the end of the game there, GSC had no idea what they were trying to do. Like, they were winging it. They were just trying to make decisions on the fly. And it's, you can't really rely on that in a best of 7 series. You can get away with it 1 game, 2 games, but I think the checks and balances are going to even out, and it's going to be skill ratio, who has a few more checks than GSC does, and they've got a few more X's. So I think at the end of the day, skill ratio can take home the next 2 games.
Maybe. Okay. I was going to kind of go into something there, but I think I'm going to save that for a little bit later. So instead, what I'm going to choose to do, we're going to go into a little bit of a music interlude now, guys, because one of the teams, they're taking a little bit of extra time here, because they have some further preparation, maybe some technical issues as well, because they are now in their tech time. So with that being said, we're going to go into a little bit of a quick music break. But within the next couple of minutes, you can guarantee that we'll be back and we'll be getting straight on into these games. So please, guys, do not go anywhere, because you do not want to miss what is up and coming very, very soon. Sit tight.
Ooh, big jump! Wow, that was great.
The CC from the mid, I think he's gonna be okay. Is he gonna be able to get something up? No, he's not! It goes down, and Agent Slick is able to find.
Oh my goodness, the blood operation coming up from Integral, so I guess he can be able to solo HB here. He does!
And the Star Surge opener coming in, the Blood Elf Science 1 coming out, Static Rose sitting at 74%. Oh wow, Agent Grizzle returning the flag. Chewy running in, he's gonna cap it! And that's gonna be a cap going over skill ratio!
Okay, guys, we are back. I told you that we wouldn't be. Both teams are ready now, and we're lucky to get onto these games any second now. So, just a quick recap for anyone who's just joined or anyone who's just come back from being AFK or whatever. We are in the grand finals of the Twink Tournament 2016, and it is skill ratio going up against GSC Justice, who are the competitors, the contenders to try and take over to be the Twink Cup champions. Skill ratio being the 2 times returning champions to this tournament. With that being said, GSC Justice taking these games 3-2 in a best-of-7 series right now. It is looking really, really tight in every single game. Anything can happen at this point.
This could be it. And, you know, skill ratio, they are not the same players they had last year. They're not the same group of 10 that were, you know, able to just handle the finals effortlessly and move on to the next round. These guys are a fresh group of players. They didn't, you know, go through the same trials and hardships as the rest of skill ratio did. A lot of these GSC players are not the same guys from last year as well. It's a combination of the top 3 teams from last year that have kind of spread out into their own. You know, Pizza picked up a few recruits here and there, 1 or 2 from skill ratio, 1 from Jesus Christ Marie. Same thing happened with GSC. The fact of the matter is the leadership from the finals is still there, and Pizza is showing why he is going to be a 3-time champion. I think the only other people that would be involved with it being a 3-time champion would be Dark Chewy, Knick Knack. Maniac wasn't around in the first tournament. Let me think really quickly. I'm going to take a look at their team really quickly. Grizzle would be the 3rd, and that's it. Those are the 3 people that have been around that would be the 3 Twink Cup champions in a row. 3rd-time Twink Cup champions in a row. Those are the 3 people that we're looking at. Dark Chewy, Grizzle, and Pizza. Those are the ones that need to make stuff happen. I'm getting hyped. Those are the 3 that need to make the thing, like, they need to be the ones to put their team on their back. Pizza with the calls, Grizzle with the wild card, and Dark Chewy with, quite frankly, not messing up. So, that's basically how it goes. And, I mean, it's skill ratio's game to win at this point, I think.
Well, skill ratio most definitely going to want this, but I think GSO even more so because all they want to do is get into the finals and take out skill ratio. Their team leader, Dan, aka Vanilla Milk, aka Blueprint, that is all he's been talking about. He wants to take down the reigning champions, and at this point, being one game ahead in this best-of-7 series, with all they need is 1 game to take the whole thing, it is looking like his dreams may become a reality any time now. But once we are in these games, we're only going to find out and see. This could potentially be the final game of Twink Cup 2016, guys. So there is a lot of hype going into this game. Come on, who is it? Chat, talk to me. Hashtag GSC or hashtag skill ratio. Who is it that you guys are backing to be the champions? Show your support, show your love, guys. We're getting straight on into this game. Both teams are ready. Both teams, same compositions, same everything, same goals, same players. Nothing's going to change. Let's go in and see who is the peak of the players of these teams.
And, you know, this series has really just been GSC dominating midfield. They've been so consistent, so good, but skill ratio, you know, you said it, you made it clear. It's winning mid when it matters, and that is skill ratio. Skill ratio is clutch. These guys, every single time they're put, you know, in a position hiding around the resto hut for 5 minutes. Like, are you kidding me? These guys do not give up. Expecting to see more of that this game. We've got the same players, the same composition, and the same $3,000 on the line. This is Twink Cup 2016, and it's safe to say, Blackout, this is the best level 19 action I have ever seen in my entire life.
I think it's going to be the best you will ever see at this rate. There is no way that games are ever going to become more competitive than this. The gates are very, very soon to open. Both teams eager to get out there, eager to get into that battlefield. Their hearts must be racing right now. The adrenaline's pumping. The blood is throbbing. It's flowing even. The blood is flowing with these guys. They just want to get out there. They want to get head-on-head in this mid-fight right now because the pressure is all going to ascend and roll on from this initial fight. Whoever's going to win this initial fight will take the initial momentum going into this game.
Let's talk about the individual skill coming out here, because I definitely have to give it to GSC. Better FC, better Boomy, better Hunters, better Lock. I mean, you know, obviously better Lock. Better Shamans, Healers, Warriors, Frontline, everything. Down the line, in my opinion, name for name, GSC has the skill. GSC has the talent and, you know, in a lot of ways, the synergy. So if they could just tighten it up a little bit, if they could just get, you know, a little bit more, then they will be able to take this game. I'm confident.
I think so too, and then they will become the champions, but the mid-clash is on. Wuxi Yang taking a lot of damage there. The pre-heals coming in. The Star Surge coming out onto the Boomy there. He does manage to survive there, not using to use his wild charge. The Chaos Ball coming out onto Wuxi Yang. Can he just go down? This could be it. This could be the first team fight going over. GSC Justice are relentless. Nate Nat desperately trying to slow down the front lines of GSC Justice as they relentlessly push into team skill ratio. The kegs coming out, slowing them all down. All of the damage coming out. The Chaos Ball goes flying in there, and it does land onto Maniac, and he's desperately trying to get away. Tyranny Trinket comes out. The blanket signs coming out there for the BM called Priest. That onto Maniac, and there's so much damage being thrown out here. The momentum has gone. Wuxi Yang catching that res though. Will he get back to his team in time before they catch a wipe?
Yeah, and you know, you're right. It's one more game for GSC to win the entire Twin Cup, and that midfield showed you exactly why. These guys, you know, what is it, 5, 6, 7 games in a row now? They've lit up, I guess 5 games in a row, they've lit up that front line of skill ratio over and over and over.
Oh my god, I need to point out that Chewy's in so much trouble now, being contested by 100 up on the roof with both FC Boomy and FC Hunter setting the trap here. HB on that Druid looking to come and try and assist EFC up on that roof, but that Chewy is in so much trouble here. Ezeron, he's looking to be at the ramp. He wants to aid that Chewy at this point, but he's not ever going to get there in time. That Chewy is going to go down, and there is nothing he can do about it. The blanket size comes out, and the flag gets returned. The first cap goes to GSC so early on into this game. Wow, that is absolutely crazy. So well executed by GSC Justice, and I told you, whoever wins that initial fight does get the momentum going into this game, and it looks like GSC Justice knew that, capitalized on that, and they're going to take the first cap of this potential last game in this series. Let's take a look at that again on a replay, guys. It's so unfortunate there for Dark Chewy. He topped himself off a little bit. He ran it around, but EFC doing the 1v1 going up against Dark Chewy there. He was relentlessly trying to throw out those regrowths, and it doesn't actually matter. The blanket silence comes out as he goes down. The return coming out. It's just absolutely fantastic. But going back into this game now, one of the Hunters, EFC, he's holding the flag, waiting for the real EFC to get in a good position so they can counter the fast cap to make sure that that does not happen. Dark Chewy is in stealth across mid, though. He's near the ramp side, potentially going to get pulled out of stealth here because there's so many GSC members so close by. But no, he slips on by and manages to get right up the tunnel.
Yeah, so the crucial part about that whole transition play that happened at that side of the base was that the FC was so... was able to get up in that push as well. Usually a Druid can 1v1 or live against 2 Hunters if he's split on roof like that, because one Hunter has to cut and the other one has to come pressure him. But having that FC come as well and heal that Hunter really eliminates any opportunity for Dark Chewy to do anything. And Ezeron just, you know, wasn't there in time and wasn't in the right position to help him there. So this beautiful transition play by GSC, you know, clean cut, not letting anybody by, just able to handle that expertly and show why they are 1 game away from winning the Twin Cup.
Yeah, I think so too, but this is it. This is what I'm saying. How is skill ratio going to perform when they're on the back foot, when they're under the pressure? Dark Chewy bringing that flag out the bottom of the tunnel now. The damage is going collapsing straight into there, catching a heal there and getting topped straight back off, trying to help his team out there, throwing out some regrowths so that they can stabilize a little bit at this point in time. Repulse, the target of toys for GSC. The Chaos Ball goes in, but he doesn't go down off it. A really great play there by the healers of skill ratio, doing their best to keep their whole team up at this point, as it's so crucial that they do not lose the team fight at this point in time. But with that being said, let's take a look at where HB is upon that FC Boomy. He's at the top now. He's looking to commit across to his team because his team have made enough progression in mid to be able to push skill ratio back so that he can get across uncontested. And it's really, really good that he's managed to get behind his team here, being 1 cap ahead.
Yeah, it looks like it was going to be the same situation if skill ratio was going to be able to hold onto mid, that, you know, they could send 3 back and try and cut HB. But at the end of the day, they are going to be able to get him across and hold on to that 1-0 lead. Yeah,
Sergeant Pizza sitting around 50% HP, though. He keeps trying to go around the side to hit deep to their backline, and Forever gets punished for it, but a big swap comes over onto the Boomy of GC Justice. The wild child comes out onto, and he's so far already gone. The Chaos Ball double confrag obliterating through that Roar of Sacrifice. It wasn't even confrag crits that crushed him there. So much damage coming out on that last Ren tick as well. EFC throwing out some damage down to Dark Chewy, relentlessly trying to kill him before he gets up the tunnel, but he does not manage to succeed, and he just displaces into the back of his team right now. Dark Chewy safely up the tunnel, looking to get on top of the graveyard until his team can get a regroup going on.
It's actually so insane how good GSC is at mid. I mean, they played against us, and they killed our BM. You know, we played 3 days in a row, and we could never figure out how to keep our front line alive against this GSC comp. Flamer sits so far back. He's never in a position to get hit. He's never in a position to get sheared. He always just lines up the damage so perfectly with Nature on that Boomy, and Lucas with those Rens, and BM with Saxon on that BM, lining up that Keg Smash. These guys, like, somehow, someway, they're able to just time it down to the millisecond. And obviously, Wushu Yang just getting obliterated all series. He's suffering so hard, and skill ratio is suffering so hard because of it as well. There's another one.
And again, Wushu Yang going 100 to 0 the Star Stage and the Chaos Bot line. You know, those guys are relentless, and the counter push is going to come out again by GSC, and desperately skill ratio are trying to make breaks to go up the tunnel because they know that they're going to potentially lose this fight with one frontliner down. Nick Nat doing the best that he can to try and hold his own there, slowing down the whole team of skill ratio. The wild charge coming out, rooting him in place, forcing these healers not be able to fall back any further as GSC Justice try and push further up. The Chaos Ball coming out here. Is it Sergeant Pizza is the target of choice? He doesn't go down because there is no confrags to follow, but you can see GSC Justice backing off now, not falling into that trap there that skill ratio had them with last time around that leaf hook there, using that LOS to try and drag the frontliners in. Really, really good call by the players there of GSC Justice to fall out of that graveyard.
Is this a flashback blackout? I swear, we've seen this before. GSC heading back to their own side of the map. They're going to put HB up top above GY. And, you know, I feel like this would be an interesting play as well if they took it a step further. Maybe taking a page out of Skill Ratio's book and drop the flag to a Hunter or something like that and send HB over to contest Chewy. Chewy's sitting on top of the GY by himself. But look, Skill Ratio is not hesitating this time. They're going to not going to let them waste any time on the clock. Ezreon sitting in front of mid, trying to simultaneously cut Hunter the Boomy, while also trying to prevent them from dropping down and going up tunnel. It's a great play. Skill Ratio actually decides to go all the way around now, bringing Ezreon as well, and they're going to start cutting across mid.
Maybe the Hunters are going to break off and make an attempt at Dark Chewy. Who knows here? Maybe they can push him back in from the GY. I don't think that's going to be what's going to happen. But yes, maybe one Hunter is looking to break off here. Ezreon has noticed it. The disengage comes out, but he does get cut there by the other Hunter on Team GSC, but Argent Grizzle. Again, that Hunter who always knows what to do, and he's very, very good at doing it. He's going to be there for that cut as well.
Yeah, perfect. Maniac was there as well. You know, he did pull people back away from the fight. And it was a good job just by moving numbers. But at the same time, obviously, mid-fight is where the action is. Priest going down to like 1%. That's, of course, the BM. Now the front line from skill ratio is really putting work onto GSC. And they might be able to find a kill onto Boomy, who's now in the position that Dark Chewy was in previously, hiding behind that resto hut.
I think so, too. That is potentially what they're going to be looking to do here. They want to try and get that side of position. Why they ran all the way back up there in the presence of their own graveyard as well. They know they could easily push out here and maybe make something of this. But the frontliner is almost going down on GSC Justice there. Does get picked right back up. But Agent Grizzle goes down. It was almost a cross kill there. So GSC Justice now has the momentum. One player down the team fight skill ratio. They may be looking to fall back, but they choosing to stand in their ground. Double penance coming out into Nick Nat there. Desperately trying to keep them alive so they can maintain this level of aggression.
One Hunter has successfully pulled one Shaman out of mid. That is a trade I will take any day. Maniac sitting below Dark Chewy right now, spam healing him, waiting for something, coming out of the woodworks to hit him. But ESC just sitting way out of his range, sitting there with Zerka buff, just waiting. Grizzle is actually there now as well, of course, because he just rezzed. If they wanted to, they could do some sort of pass and play here. But, at the same time, look at midfield. GSC is pushing in on, skill ratio is pushing in on GSC. They're trying to make something happen here.
It looks like that's what they are trying to do indeed. GSC are relentlessly trying to push out of the graveyard. Now, this is their time, and they know it. 12 stacks has kicked in. HB on Boomy at the back of the group there knows that his team are going to try and do it. Maybe he's going to look to go stand on cap. Who knows what's going to go on anytime soon right here. The charge coming out there onto Nick Nack. A lot of damage is going into him, though. Wuxi Yang is going to be the next target of choice. I feel it. I hear the Chaos Bolt. God's calling. Here it comes. The bolt is coming out. Is it going to land? It does go off, and so much damage comes out there onto Repulse. Then he does go down. 100-0. Blurz X is the next target to go down as well. The whole front line is going to collapse on skill ratio, and that is it. The team have lost the fight, and GSG Justice relentlessly have just destroyed skill ratio. They are one cap ahead. They are not going to continue to progress further into the depths of skill ratio because they know that they have no need to do so. Such great coordination up in the midfield, though.
Yeah, and the positioning of EFC, he was still hanging up above that top tunnel, so he forced so many people back to go respect that play on the Dark Chewy. Dark Chewy was forced to go tunnel, obviously, and he had, a Hunter following him, a Boomy following him, another Hunter following him, a Priest waiting, a Shaman waiting in GY, so just him being there, that one Hunter being there, caused so much pressure to skill ratio. And, all GSC is trying to do right now is run the clock. They're just trying to run the clock. They're not ever going to put them in a situation where, they're going to get overzealous. They're going to get too bloodthirsty. They're just going to keep running it back and running to the spot. They've got the Warlock. They don't need to play objective fights. They've got the lead. They win the first fight. They get a cap, and then they play it slow.
They do indeed, and they know it. But the thing is, though, if one thing goes wrong, if one kill gets scored and it snowballs on that, that means that SC could be in a lot of trouble. They have to keep that in mind, though. It's not as easy as what they are making it look out to be. Nick Nack ahead of his team now, pushing out onto the Alliance ramp here, looking to try and push GSC Justice off the top of the graveyard here. I'm not sure if GSC Justice is going to fall out and down here. Maybe they want to try and contest them at this point here. I don't know if they are trying to hold this ground or they're just trying to bait them. Yep, it's the bait. I was right in the second time. They all drop off now, heading out down the bottom of the graveyard here, and they're looking to take up that position that skill ratio had around the hut, I do believe.
Yep, I love to see how this goes every single time. It's always stressful for both teams. The SC being way back there, having to split healers off of 100 cuts. Obviously, HB in crazy positioning down here by the Resto Hut. But forget, Dark Chewy's actually coming with the team this time. He drops the flag over to Grizzle, and he might try and line up a kill. This is what I've been waiting for. This is what I've been waiting for. The Bolt comes out, does line up on a pizza. They get him solo, but they read that. They top him off. Priest, the BM, that's Saxon. He's going to get topped up. He was going very low. And keep an eye on Dark Chewy. What's he going to look for here? He's going around for the play. I'm sure GSC knows of it.
They must know it by now, but maybe they don't know exactly whereabouts he is on the map. Sergeant Pizza is looking to relay. And you can see his position. He's just about fall back now, but he knows that he's going to be needed there. Maybe Ezeron it needs to come in here. What is Ezeron doing? He's just about to go down here. He got contested by Double Hunter. And he does go down, and the body loot does come out there, so he's not going to be able to help Dark Chewy. Dark Chewy, though, opening up at the back there, managing to get away, though. Before
he
going down.
He's just trying to get points right now. It's great. He's just trying to get points so that he can coordinate with Pizza when his team is in a position. He's a huge threat to HB right now. ESC is blinking over to try and contest him. He wasn't able to get a re-stealth, and now he just needs to continue to get points. The surprise factor is lost. But if he goes down right here, then it might just be all for naught.
It could have been all for nothing there, but he's on the front line now in cat form. Maybe this is a good. Is the Chaos Ball going to come out on him? I believe that it should do any time now. Dark Chewy is in travel form, trying to get away there. The Chaos Ball is coming. Who is it going to land on? It goes all the way out there and lands onto Repulse, and he gets exploded on. 70% to 0, double confrag. That is why Destruction Warlocks are so strong in this meta where people are playing these team fight composition kind of comps. This is really, really good play here by GSC Justice. Pushing skill ratio all the way back. Once again, being that healer down, they can't afford to try and stand their ground at this point. They know that they need to fall out before it results in a potential whole team wipe.
Yeah, both Shamans are out of mid right now. They're heading up to go help Dark Chewy. Or, sorry, not Dark Chewy, Agent Grizzle. Agent Grizzle is coming out on ramp right now. He's going to be met by Maniac. Of course, there is an EFC Hunter on his way to play catch with him as well. Here, catch my bullet. He's sitting at 150% increased damage. It is full stacks. It's now or never if you're going to make a YOLO play. 15 stacks doesn't get much more enticing than that. Maniac picks a flag. Grizzle goes to go contest.
But you have to look. Grizzle's looking to contest. That Chewy looking to contest. Sergeant Pizza looking to contest. Both of those druids in stealth right now. GSC Justice must be going out of their minds trying to figure out exactly whereabouts these two druids would be. They need to have figured out where they waited to stealth and calculate the timing. But Pizza comes out of stealth with the entangling roots. I don't know if that was a wise choice to do that. Chewy's out as well. He's heading right up the tunnel. Surely one of the hunters will have picked that up on the humanoids. Maybe or maybe not. I am not so sure. The flag has been passed and picked up by Maniac now. He's only rocking 2600 HP. No, they're just passing the flag between them. They're kind of messing around right there. They know that there's not.
Well, EFC is still in that flag room. He's still a big threat. He's controlled that flag room right now. HB definitely needs to be keeping track of both Dark Chewy and Pizza right now. Pizza is out of stealth. Chewy is not. Chewy is right on top of him. Ezron's there as well. He's getting hit. He's going to have to drop down. If not now, very shortly. He war stomps onto Dark Chewy, preventing the damage. He's gonna be okay for now. There's really nobody to help Dark Chewy. The entire team turns around. The Star Surge comes out on him. Grizzle's still fighting ESC in the back. They look like they're okay for now. And HB doesn't actually have to drop right here, so he's holding this line, keeps the dot on the Dark Chewy, prevents the dot, or prevents the restart. Look at that damage coming out. He drops the flag. Great play by HB. There's nobody there to contest him right now. Nobody there to pick the flag. Just absolute godsend by HB. He loses his positioning to dodge the charge, though, and Nick does get up there. And that's going to be a lot of damage coming on HB, but Nick will go down.
Nick does go down there. Great play there by GSC.
Maniac is being hit by ESC here. Agent Grizzle's trying to contest. Pizza's there. It should be okay. The scope prop comes out. The blood off silence comes out. It's not enough, and Maniac will live.
It was not enough indeed, but it was ever so close. That could have been a second cap there to Team GSC. Let's just take a quick look at that on the replay, guys, in case you didn't catch that the first time round. You see EFC, the Hunter, going up in a 2v1 situation against Maniac and Argent Grizzle there, doing a great job of getting down solo. The blanket silence comes out, but it doesn't look like the flag went down at that point. So great job for surviving there by Maniac. Good job.
Okay, so 3 minutes left until GSC Justice wins the entire Twin Cup. Skill ratio. What can you do? Agent Grizzle once again with the flag.
It does.
I don't know if this is gonna work. Dark Chewy, he's in stealth, but he's got no points. I don't know if this is gonna work. The entire team is with HB. You need a hunter in this situation.
You really do. Ezron is there, though, coming up at the top with the rest of the squad as well. It's all or nothing. Are GSC going to be the Twin Cup 2016 champions or not?
ESC is going up tunnel. He's going to cut on to Grizzle, who is all alone right now. He's going after Grizzle. The flag is dropped by Grizzle. It looks like SR can turn around and repick if they need to. Grizzle's not going to last long. He's dropped the flag. He's trying to make a play here on ESC. He stomps it. He's going for it. He disengages off. He tries to go for the fake. ESC does not buy it. And Grizzle, with nothing left, drops the flag. Will go down. GSC is going to drop the flag themselves as well just to keep HB alive. And they do so successfully. Dark Chewy has died as well. Oh my goodness, the repick by EFC. He's heading out to meet the rest of his team as they continue to dominate mid. Once again, it's been the story this time around. It's been the story this way through. And skill ratio is wiped up in midfield.
Skill ratio wipes up in midfield. 2 minutes left on the clock. GSC holding the flag there. Is there anything skill ratio can do? I believe not. Dad Chewy just catching a res there. Sergeant Pizza is in the tunnel looking for the pick. He knows this is his calling. This is what he has to do. He has to get this flag. He has to get it across. His team have to kill that hunter. It's all or nothing, guys. Is skill ratio going to be able to defend their championship title, or are they going to lose it now to Team GSC Justice? This is it, guys. 1 minute 30 seconds left on the clock. What will happen?
Skill ratio has given up so much positioning by trying to cut EFC with that flag. He has gotten it over to Boomy. So really, it's do or die for them right now. They've got 1 minute and 15 seconds. Pizza is crossing, but Knick-Knack has gone down. GSC is just completely disengaging from mid. The same time that skill ratio is, they're trying to re-engage, they're trying to reconnect. They can't let them get up tunnel. They need to separate them. Now is the time. Wu Shu Yang needs to get up there, but he's so far back. There's no slows onto GSC at all. They're all getting up tunnel. Priest, Saxon doing such a good job cutting them. They're all stacked up, trying to push in. Nobody's going around ramp right now. They're all funneling into tunnel. Repulsed is in the front line. Repulsed is in the front line. Wu Shu Yang finally gets up there. He's pushing up as well. ESC is stunned up. They're all just trying to live. Take a look at Boomy. 2 stacks. He's all the way at the top of tunnel. He doesn't give a crap. Thankfully, Dark Chewy's the one with the flag right now. Grizzle pushing up ramp, looking for that cut if HB goes for it, but I don't know if they will need to. Everybody's in tunnel right now. The bolts are coming out onto Repulse. He's the target right now. The Warriors on him. The Rens are ending. The bolts are in perfect line of sight right now. They are going to start to kite up the tunnel. 16 seconds left right now. It's all over. GSC is going to take it. 10 seconds left. There's no way they can do it. GSC is going to be the 2016 Twin Cup champions.
I cannot believe what I've seen. The first time ever in Twin Cup history, skill ratio not being the outcoming champions. Congratulations, GSC Justice. You are now the new 2016 Twin Cup champions. I am so proud of that team. They've come so far. Over the past couple of years, they've played a lot together. They've done so much. All they wanted to do was win the Twin Cup and take the championship off skill ratio, and they did it. Congratulations, guys. You did such a great job. I'm very unfortunate for skill ratio. You guys put up a great series of games here for the whole of all of the viewership. Everyone who's been anticipating these whole games. I'm absolutely mind blown. But so much congratulations from GS to GSC Justice.
An incredible performance all the way through this series. These guys did not ever lose mid. They're so coordinated in their swaps. Flamer coming in that Warlock, playing the different composition than all the top teams the entire tournament. They had the Warlock, they had the Chaos Bolts on point all the way through. Just incredible mid dominance from GSC. And you know, they realized like 1 or 2 games in that they weren't able to just sit at that GA and farm it, and they adapted effortlessly. So let's take a look at the damage done one last time. 325k put out by Priest. That's Lucas. Nature, their Boomy, he hit 288k. Knickknack and Sergeant Pizza were the ones following up with 220k apiece. Priest, of course, that's Saxon, putting out 155k damage. Just absolutely dominating compared to Wushu Yang.